rang.
Hey, what's up, Sean?
Hey man, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah, you know the key's on the door, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what you doing to get prepared for Halloween?
Oh, well, one of the things I've done is I've got me some brand new Michael Myers Halloween socks. Want to see them?
Shit, yeah.
There, yeah. Look at that right there.
Those are pretty scary, dude.
They were. I like them a lot. They're really scary.
Yeah.
But not as scary as those, dude.
Okay. Happy Halloween!
I can see what the world has done to you. I can feel the way, feel the way.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Monster Dome. Dwayne, I'm really excited. This is our Halloween edition / Japanese horror movie episode. I'm really excited. We got a pretty cool lineup today. Here's some of our movies we'll be watching today. We're going to do the 1999 film Audition. This is probably the most famous movie out of the lineup. When I was told I was doing a tournament of movies around the world, everybody said, you gotta do this one. The Audition from 1999. We also have the newer film, 2017's One Cut of the Dead.
We also have the 1964 Oscar-nominated movie, Quiet On, nominated for the Best Foreign Film. And we're also going to do the Halloween edition of Martin.
Also, I'm doing another video game review, and we'll see that later on in the episode. So let's go ahead and dive in. Trick or Treat edition, Halloween edition, you know what I mean? And that's this week. Let's dive in. Alright, so normally I have a candle. Usually they're from a company called Goose Geek or whatever the hell they're called. But this time we're going to borrow one of Tazia's candles. And I believe she got this for free at Bath & Body Works. This is Vampire Blood. Yes. And we're going to have Dwayne do the honors of lighting up. We're going to figure out what Vampire Blood smells like.
Alrighty. These are Jason lighter here.
Smells pretty good. Oh, you smell like strawberry, cherry kind of scent.
Strawberry.
Yeah.
Definitely strawberry.
And I'm not a big fan of strawberry, but it does smell good. So I give it that. It smells pretty good. We're going to have that lit right here. And we're going to check out some more stuff right here on the Monster Dome. Even though it's a Halloween episode, the Horror Around the World Tournament must continue. And for our Halloween special, we have 3 kick-ass Japanese films we're going to review. But how will they do? Will they make it onto the Horror Around the World bracket tournament? Now let's go over the points. At first place right now, with 48 points, we have South Korea. In second place with 46 points, we have Australia. And in the third place position with 42 points, we have China. Nobody's yet to make it to the 50-point barrier. Let's see if Japan can do it, and or at least make it onto the top 3 of the brackets of Horror Around the World. It is now time for our feature presentation. Spoiler warnings. It's time for our very first review of tonight's Halloween special. We have One Cut of the Dead.
カット割りなしのワンカット。最初から最後まで一度もカメラを止めません。
そんな無茶な企画あるわけないでしょ。
Alright, before we get started, normally I don't do this, but you should really watch this movie. Dwayne, I went in as blind as humanly possible, and I think that affected my movie-going experience. All I knew was I'm sure zombies are going to be in here, and they might something to do with film. And I was right. And I don't know, I didn't know what was going to happen, and it made the movie experience great because for the first 30 minutes of this film, I thought this was a shitty zombie movie. And then after 30-something minutes, the credits roll. And we even paused it. We're like, what the fuck, is this it? Well, I thought this was an hour and 30. We paused it and said, no, there's a whole fucking hour left. So then we go back in time about a month. And it turns out, everything we just saw to this point was them making a movie. And now a month in the past, it's how we got to that movie. And then, oh man, this is just so great. So we basically start the movie with the zombie apocalypse. Turns out they're making a movie. And then a real zombie apocalypse after that making a movie. Turns out they were making a movie again. So it's a movie about people making a movie about a zombie apocalypse. About a zombie apocalypse. I don't know, it's almost like Inception levels of movie making. No? Okay. Anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, but once you get to the second part of the movie, for me, the movie really kicks into high gear. You know, the writing gets so much better. You know, apparently, like the whole thing was cheesy on purpose, and it is so great. Dwayne, what are your thoughts?
Alright, so this is one I heard of but hadn't seen. And you told me after you watched it to go in blind, so I did. I didn't look at any reviews or nothing on it. And like you said, I started watching it and I'm like, this is a crappy movie. And the pacing was like off and on. They do stuff and then they'd stop and like pause and look at each other for a second. And then they go on again with the movie. And I'm like, well, this sucks. And about, like you said, about 35 minutes into it, it looks like it ends and they're rolling credits. I'm like, well, is this like an anthology maybe? But then it says it goes back a month and it actually shows the people getting ready to talk about, hey, we're going to make a horror movie. And we're going to do a live shot, one cut. It's one cut from the dead. One long 30-minute cut. And it shows behind the scenes how the people making the movie are trying to get the actors to do things correctly. Like one, the guy's like really famous and he only wants to do certain things. And one guy's got a weak stomach so he can only do certain things and certain times and stuff. But like you said, it's once it gets going and you see what's happening behind the scenes, and it's like you said, it's a movie about a movie crew making a horror movie. And it's actually, when I first watched it, I was like, is that what we're watching? Is this like a movie about a movie making a movie? And that's what it was. And like you said, it was really good once you got to the people actually making the movie. You see all these good things that they do, like some effects, how they're trying to hold people up, and one guy's drunk, like this old actor's drunk all the time, and he passes out, so they're trying to hold him up, and one guy's moving his arm, and the other guy's holding him up, so that it looks like he's like attacking the people and stuff, and it's really cool and stuff, and you see how the people that are making the movie, like the director's daughter is trying to make a movie, help him with it, the wife was helping him, all these people, the executives are talking about it, and it's a really good behind the scenes movie about making a movie, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Yes, it was such a roller coaster because we watched it on the app called Vudu, and it said One Cut of the Dead, 100% Rotten Tomato. I was like, oh dude, this is gonna be fucking sick. Play. They got 35 minutes of like pure what the fuck, and honestly, no clue. I was like, are they stupid? Did one person review it and just love it? And then once we get to the second part, it just took. And so ultimately, it's not even a horror movie. It's a movie about making horror movies. Because nobody died in this film. You know, on canon died in this film. And because I went from hating it to at the very end, I actually cried a little bit at the end because it's just just because there's this one scene in particular, and I thought this was such brilliant writing. There's a scene where like it's about the director getting ready to make this film, and it seems like he's a very chilled out director. He lets people use like teardrops and shit, and like later on when you get to his home life, his daughter they're watching his stuff. And she's calling it out, like they're using teardrops, and they're actually watching something he made, and she asked to change the channel. And then a little bit later, you see him in like a closet crying, looking at pictures of his daughter when she was younger on his shoulder with like a little camera. So it seems like she's grown up idolizing him, but now she kind of thinks that shit's weak. And then at the very end of the film, everybody comes together to make this thing just one cut, and like his daughter really steps up, and at the end to get the final shot, they all kind of climb on each other's back, and like in the back in the old picture, she climbs on her father's shoulder to get the shot. It was just beautiful. It was perfect. This movie like reminds me why I love movies. Just like everybody coming together, everybody doing everything they can. Just make everything work. I loved it. Yeah, this is why I love movies, is because of just the passion they had for this project. I love the Shining references they kept making. There's two. One is pretty obvious, is the director's daughter's wearing a Shining shirt. And the other is like the very beginning, when the fake movie, the director is like pushing the actors, making them do like 30, 40 takes, and I think that's a huge nod to Stanley Kubrick when they made The Shining, which is pretty cool. You also have these great cast of characters that when you take so the movie is 30 minutes of the movie they're filming. You see it one cut. You see the whole movie, the very first beginning of the movie. In the middle of the movie, it shows how they made it and got to the movie. And then the last end of the movie, they re-show the movie that you've already seen, but you see it from the filmmaking perspective, which was really nice. And you'd be able to build great characters just in the middle of the film. And like Dwayne said, he had the drunk, and he had that one guy who has all these issues, and there's this hilarious scene where he's about to shit himself, and then like he finally runs and finds someplace to shit, and as he's shitting, they're so pressed for time, they do the zombie makeup while he's taking a dump, and he's like, oh my god, it was awesome. And then it was just like, it was such like I felt bad during the first part of the movie. First 30 minutes, like, I can't believe I had Dwayne buy this $30 fucking film. I feel bad. And then it got really good. Oh man, I had such a blast with this film, Dwayne. Also, I found out that when they filmed the movie, they did it in one cut as well. And it took 2 days, I think, 6 takes.
Oh yeah.
They got it, which was awesome. Oh man, this movie, Dwayne, I don't know, it was very, very surprised and just had a blast. What are your final thoughts and grade on this?
So I really liked it. When you're watching the first part of the movie where you think it's a horror movie and you think it's people making a horror movie and then a zombie outbreak happens in real life, it's funny because the director is trying to still make the movie, and you actually have like real zombies attacking the fake zombies, which are the movies, and the director was killing me because he's like grabbing a real zombie and pushing it towards the actors, and he's screaming action. And when you said, have you watched it, I just texted you and said, let me tell you how I watched this movie. Action. That's how you knew I watched it. Action. Because the director's like pushing the zombies, says, kill them motherfuckers, kill them. It's like guerrilla filmmaking and stuff.
Oh yeah, when I was watching it, I was like, it probably looked more real, but like you still have the issue of you screaming, oh, it's all fucking good, and like while it's filming, I was like, be quiet,
He's screaming at the actors, and the actors are trying to scream back, and he's pushing zombies at him and stuff. And it's a blast.
When I thought it was a real zombie movie, it almost felt like an episode of what was it, the Benny Hill show?
Oh yeah.
Where the dun, 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 I don't know, I'm not good with that. Anyway, but like they're all running around. Like 1 second she's been chased by a zombie, and then 1 second she's being chased by this crazy woman with the axe, and then the director will run like, oh, action, and she's running. It's just everybody just running around. It's crazy and chaotic. What they also loved was when that one actress couldn't make it, so they're down an actress, and then his daughter suggests his wife. He goes, no, I remember how she used to be. We can't use her. And the next thing you know, she's in the movie. You're like, oh, I wonder why, they didn't want to use her. Turns out she's a very, very deep method actor, and she becomes the character, and she becomes this like badass, wanting to fight all the zombies and going crazy and shit. Like she actually becomes that character. And while they're filming it, like she was going so crazy. Like at one point, it looks like she gets hit in the head with the axe, and she just jumps up out of nowhere, and like he like had to really choke her out to make her pass out to stop. It was awesome. I love that part. Dwayne, what are you giving this one movie? One Cut of the Dead. What are you gonna give your score to?
I'm going really good with an 8 out of 10. It's like tied for I think for the highest ones I've given, right?
You give a 9.
I give a 9, okay. But this one was really good. I'll go 9. All right then, 9 out of 10.
No.
Because I really enjoyed it. Like you said, the first few minutes I was like, what the heck am I watching? And then after that, I just enjoyed it so much. And like you said, the callbacks to other movies, the daughter's wearing a Say Goodnight to the Bad Guy Scarface shirt from Al Pacino's Scarface. I enjoyed it a whole lot, and great movie. Going blind. I know you're not going blind since Sean's already told you everything about it, but
Well,
it's a great movie, and I enjoyed it very much. 9 out of 10.
here are my pros and cons of One Cut of the Dead. My pros. Reminded me why I love movies. Funny, hilarious moments. Eye-watering storytelling without having to say it. Everyone coming together to film with a happy ending. Probably the happiest ending to any zombie film ever. Dwayne bought this one. Cons. Took 30 minutes for me to like the film. This one lady looked like a Goomba from the 1993 Super Mario Bros. Movie. I could never get back the first experience watching this film. This is one of those where it feels like the first time is just so amazing, and then, I can't ever have a second time watching this film. Alright everybody, I want to give One Cut of the Dead 9 out of 10. It's Tasia, it's Tasia.
That's me!
The Tasia Review Show, starring Sean Dills.
This is my review of One Cut of the Dead, and at the beginning of the movie I was very confused. I was like, this movie is not gonna be good. I was like, let's just turn it off. I was not liking it at all. But then, towards the middle, it started to get better. And then at the end, I was like, wow, this movie's actually pretty good. It's pretty decent.
It's time for another edition of Trick or Treat, where we try all kinds of cool little snacky snacks, and we decide if we give them a trick or a treat. Trick goes up, trick goes down. Alright, Dwayne, what do we have in our Trick or Treat pumpkin?
We got check it out real quick here. The kitty here.
That's Binks from Hocus Pocus. Have you seen Hocus Pocus?
No.
Well, let's fix that. We actually watched half of it this morning.
Alright, so what I got here is we got takoyaki balls.
Is it not teriyaki?
Takoyaki balls.
Oh, god damn my dyslexia. Okay, well, I got
Takoyaki balls.
God damn it, okay.
Balls.
I read the balls part right as the top part.
The
I got
balls you got right, okay? You focus on the balls.
God damn it. I thought it was teriyaki balls.
You want to play your balls real quick there?
Sure shit, yeah. Let's see. Never,
Is this like a lighter thing?
never have I ever had a more difficult bag of chips. Yeah, okay, well that was tough. That was a tough one.
No.
Alright. Let's try one of these. Smells pretty good actually. Maybe I should have read what this is before.
Takoyaki balls?
It smells like regular chips.
Yeah, they don't smell bad or nothing. Doesn't smell any kind of exotic thing in it or nothing. Nothing wild.
It's good. I like the shit out of this, Dwayne.
I'm sure you like balls.
Another balls joke. Okay, this is.
You put those balls in your mouth? Alright, it's enough ball jokes.
Yeah, I'm gonna let my fingers real quick. That's pretty good. I like that. I'm trying to put my finger to the taste there. What do you think that is?
Tastes like chicken and biscuit, maybe?
I don't know about that. I had that like literally like 2 days ago while I was watching Quiet On. I was sitting there in the dark having the chicken biscuits, cheese whiz in one hand. It's a damn clusterfuck, but
Gourmet stuff there.
yeah. It is good though. I don't know. Can't put my finger on the taste, but I do like them. Definitely getting a treat. Maybe it's squid. I've had squid before. Maybe that's what I'm tasting there.
Yeah, it's definitely good. I liked it. The flavor was actually good. It wasn't anything hard or anything like that at all. But yeah, I did like it. I'll give it a treat also.
All right, that's double treat and a little Japanesey for our little Japanese Halloween episode. But wait, there's more. We went a little Japan for the first half, and for the second half of Trick or Treat, we're going to Good USA. And when you think of USA, you think donuts. And since we like horror movies here, we got a little special that Krispy Kreme has Ghostbusters themed donuts. And who you gonna call? Krispy Kreme. Okay, alright, so these are pretty cool Ghostbusters. They got the Ghostbuster signal guy and Slimer on one of them. Pretty neat, pretty neat. Besides that, I don't know how they're really Ghostbusters related. Alright, Dwayne, which one should we try?
I don't know. Go ahead and pick one.
Okay. Should we like cut one in half or?
Pick one.
Okay. Let's get the guy, the Ghostbuster guy here. I believe the frosting of the no ghost guy is edible.
Okay.
So it's not like those little Walmart rings you get in the cupcakes.
Never had them.
Full of shit, really? Anyway.
I get okay. I don't get any cupcakes.
Alright, Dwayne. Go ahead and try that bad boy out, or
Oh, I'm gonna try it.
yeah, I'll let you try this one.
All right. If I turn to a ghost, you know what happened there.
Mhm.
All right. Just a regular donut.
Well, okay, well it's Ghostbusters. We gotta be a little.
Oh yeah, it's a Ghostbusters donut. I changed it to Ghostbusters flavor.
I think there's a white filling in there. Maybe that's when Ray and Ghostbusters got head, and that's supposed to symbolize the jism that the ghost sucked from his goober. I don't know.
Really?
Okay. Anyway, that's all. I still don't know why that was in the fucking movie. But Dwayne, you think this is worth the $10 I spent on it?
For 6? Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, $11.99.
Oh, sure. $2 each? I
Yeah.
don't know about that now.
All right.
I'm trying.
I'm gonna try the Slimer. This is a big messy bastard. Pretty cool though. I mean, it's pretty good. You like Krispy Kreme? This is gonna be right up your alley. Definitely a lot of cream in this one, but the frosting is delicious. It might have a big green filling in the middle of this one. I think it's like a key lime kind of thing, which is pretty cool, I guess. You know, but green, you know, like Slimer. Ghostbusters, doo 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 doo. But that's not a thing, goes. He got called Ghostbusters, doo 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 doo. Ain't that how it goes? I have no rhythm. I'm like, I don't know how it works. I'm not a musician.
Yeah. I can tell.
Dwayne, the rest are basically regular donuts. We don't have to try them. So what would you give Krispy Kreme's Ghostbusters donuts?
Well, they just taste like regular old Krispy Kreme donuts. 6 in a pack, so I'll give it 6 out of 10. Or as we would say in my neck of the woods, a treat.
Yeah, treat for me. I mean, I was just looking for an excuse to buy some donuts. It's me here. I love donuts. You know, not a big fan of the jelly ones, but I thought it'd be really cool for a little Halloween episode to have some Ghostbusters donuts. We're giving it a treat. Well, we actually just got back from the mall. Me, Dwayne, and Tazia went to go see Terrifier 3 in theaters. We're going to do a spoiler-free, little just quick kind of review here. Dwayne, what'd you think of Terrifier 3?
Alright, spoiler free. I enjoyed it. I think the story continues from number 2 pretty well. It actually adds some stuff in from it on story lore wise.
Yeah.
You find out a little more about Sienna and her dad. It was really well shot. Like the first one is like dirty looking, it's grainy and all dark. The second one was better. This one, of course, got a better budget. It was a lot better. If you heard about some of the kill scenes, there's some really good kills in here. There's some laughs. I enjoyed a couple parts. I was laughing out loud in the theater. And I enjoyed Terrifier 3. A lot of gore, a lot of blood, what you expect out of it. But I think the comedy aspect made it a little bit better than I thought it was going to be. So I'm going to give it a good 7 out of 10.
So if you've seen Terrifier 1 and 2 and you're interested, is Terrifier 3 good? If you really, really like Terrifier 1 and 2, you really, really don't like Terrifier 3. It was a blast. I was rolling, laughing in this film. I was squirming. It was brutal. It's everything you want, plus more. To be honest with you, I think each Terrifier movie gets better and better. Because honestly, 3 is my new favorite, then 2, then 1. That's how much I like this film. It's my favorite Terrifier film thus far. I'm going to give it, and I'm just going to say 8. Because I want to watch it again, definitely as soon as it comes out on DVD, I'll probably pick it up. So I want to give this one a solid 8.
Spoiler warnings.
Alright, now it's time for horror on the small screen. And today we got a little something different. Normally we do like Goosebumps or Tales from the Crypt. But this time we're going to do a regular show with a Halloween special. And recently, Tasia was like, hey, do you want to watch a show with me? I'm like, sure, I've never seen it, but we have it. So we watched it as a show called Martin. You know, if everybody likes comedy, I'm sure you know Martin Lawrence. He was really big in the 90s and early 2000s with movies like Big Mama's House, National Security, Black Knight. And I think one of the things that really kicked off his career, besides the stand-up, was a TV series he had called Martin. Never really seen it. I knew it was popular. So it was kind of cool. I think, Dwayne, you haven't seen much of the show either.
No, I watched some of it when it was first out. I was in the Army and everybody would watch TV shows, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
just watch TV shows. But I watched a bunch of Martin, some episodes a long time ago. So
Okay.
I was familiar with it.
Yeah, and we watched the season 1 Halloween special, The Night He Comes Home. Let's dig in.
You so crazy.
Alright, Dwayne, I really like this episode. Really kind of my first episode. I noticed that John, was it Cries?
Nice, yeah.
I don't know if I said his name right, but I know he plays Uncle Rico in my favorite movie of all time, Napoleon Dynamite. It was really cool to see him in here. And then had another guy, the Martin's boss, he was on the very first season of Saturday Night Live. I think he was in the first 5 years they were on TV. He was on there. And then he also made a cameo in Ant-Man film.
Okay.
Because he did a famous Ant-Man sketch on SNL.
Yeah.
And then, so it's really cool. And then, one of the guys who plays Cole, who's like the idiot of the group, he was played by the guy who played Cockroach on The Cosby Show, which is really cool because that's like my favorite show when I was 5. So, even though, we're supposed to talk about Cosby and how great The Cosby Show was, I love The Cosby Show. I can't deny that. And so I was really excited to watch it, and it was hilarious. I thought I thought most of the jokes still held up. I did notice they did one Bush Senior joke. I was like, but I knew who he was, and I was like, okay, that's cool. But besides that, I mean, you could add that in the clothing. You wouldn't really be able to tell it was from the past, And the jokes were great. I thought it had a great Halloweeny atmosphere to it. I thought they did a really good job with that. Definitely got me in the Halloween mood, and it was awesome. Dwayne, what did you think of all this?
I really liked it. Like you said, there was a couple little political jokes. There was a good joke about men being scared, and they said why men never get scared. And they said they do if girls miss their period. That was pretty funny.
They had a really good deliverance joke too.
Oh yeah.
He said,
Banjos.
yeah, he's like,
Talk about banshees.
yeah, they're talking about banshees, and he goes, no, you idiot, it's like a banjo. And then Martin said, who's scared of banjos? And he said, well, have you seen the movie Deliverance? You know, I thought that was pretty good. A couple other funny shit in there. I know I was cracking up. What'd you think of the horror elements of this?
Oh, it was good. You know, they had a little, they were trying to do a little seance there, and ghosts in there, and stuff popping out of the closet, and was like a vase went flying and stuff. Possession. It had a lot of elements, and it was all done in comedy, and it was really well delivered, and it was a really good episode, and it was really funny.
Yeah, spoiler alert, I mean, this episode's 30 years old now.
Something like that, yeah.
Like 32, because I'm 30. So, it starts out with them watching the movie Nosferatu, and everybody but Martin gets scared. And we've reviewed Nosferatu on here. On the very last episode, we showed the entire film. It is not that scary.
No.
But everybody but Martin got scared out of their wits watching it. And then he was clowning them, calling them punks, crybabies or whatnot. And so you're like, you know what, Martin, you're going to get scared one day. And he's, yeah, right. And then fast forward to like the next day, and then his girlfriend and all his buddies are over, and they want to tell ghost stories. I love how they did this too. Before they actually get scary with it, they're like, let's set the mood with some ghost stories. They take turns telling ghost stories. And after 2 or 3, they start to have a seance. And earlier in the episode, they mentioned that there's a one-legged guy who lived there and died there. And it starts to look like that maybe his ghost is haunting them. And after the seance, one of his buddies, Tommy, gets possessed by the one-legged ghost. And he starts acting possessed and shaking. And then like the lights flicker, cabinets open and close. And then one of his buddies starts to get choked by a ghost. And then like the lights go out, and then his buddy and the 2 girls that he was with, they disappear. And it gets scarier and scarier, and then like a ghost skeleton comes out of the closet, chases him around. But it all turns out to be a prank to get back at Martin for cracking jokes at him. And it's really cool. Martin throws him out, and then he's making out with his girlfriend. And the real one-legged kind of ghost guy comes back as a ghost and walks out and turns the light off on them, freaking them out. It was such a fun episode. Me and Tazia watched it twice, had a blast with it. Dwayne, what's your final thoughts here?
Oh, I really enjoyed it a lot. Like I said, I watched Martin a little bit when it was first on TV. I liked a lot of the characters around there. Tommy and Cole always made me laugh and stuff. Yeah. And it was a really well executed Halloween episode. And I enjoyed it very much.
Alright, what's your score here?
Oh, probably like a 7 out of 10. 7? 8. I'll go 8, dude.
You go 8?
I really enjoyed that one a lot.
Alright. Dwayne's usually not that generous. Must be like your Uncle Scrooge moment here.
Yeah. No, some of the Halloween episodes on TV shows are kind of cheesy and boring, and this was actually well done, and I enjoyed that. I had a lot of laughs with it.
I did too. And here are my pros and cons for the episode Martin, The Night He Comes Home. My pros: hilarious, great Halloween atmosphere, great spooky elements. My cons: nothing much really. Well, my final score for Martin, The Night He Comes Home, I'm going to give it 8 one-legged ghosts out of 10.
It's Tasia. 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 It's Tasia.
That's me!
The Tasia Review Show. Starring Sean Dills.
This is my review of Martin the Night He Came Home. And I love this episode. I love Martin. I used to watch his show all the time when I was a kid. So I really enjoyed watching this movie.
It is now time for horror on the small. No, wrong one. It's now time for horror talk. This is where we talk all kinds of cool shit about horror films. This is the Halloween special, the Halloween event. So I want to do something big for the Halloween special horror talk. We're gonna rank all 13. Well, this is the year 2024. So we're gonna rank all current 13 Halloween films from least to best. I'm really excited. I want to see how many of me and Dwayne agree, like on the same spot, or if we're polar opposites. If we put some in the same exact position, I'm really excited to see how we link up with our Halloween franchise. Obviously, Halloween's one of the best franchises in horror. So, you ready, Dwayne?
Sure.
How hard was this list to make for you?
It was pretty easy once I got into it. I knew what my top 3, 4 were. I knew what the bottom ones were going to be. It was just actually ranking the middle ones, kind of. And then, like I said, some of them I like a little more than others for certain reasons, but Halloween is one of the best franchises in horror, and I enjoyed them all to a degree. And this is our rankings.
Alright. We're going to start with number 13. Dwayne, do you want to start?
Halloween Resurrection.
Really?
I just don't like the concept of them doing the video in the house and all that stuff, and I think they killed Laurie at the beginning of it and all this stuff, and I just was not too. I didn't like the plot that much. To movie, they made a good movie. It's the plot is.
You
not
didn't
the
like
best.
Busta Rhymes whooping Michael Myers?
Busta Rhymes is cool. I love that part. That's the best part of. That's the whole best part of the movie.
Is Busta Rhymes?
Busta Rhymes. The rest of the movie is crud.
Well, I mean, Busta Rhymes A punks out Michael Myers, and then B whoops his ass like.
Karate him up, yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of this film, but it did not get my number 13. My number 13 spot goes to. You want to guess?
My Rob Zombie number 2.
Nope.
Okay.
My number 13 goes to Halloween 3, The Season of the Witch. A lot of people, I know people love this film.
I like it.
People say, well, if we didn't have the name Halloween in it, you would like it. And I say to that, you're full of shit. Movie shit. If that movie was just called Season of the Witch, didn't have any Halloween tie-in name in, you know what would happen, Dwayne?
Right.
No one would ever fucking talk about it. You know why? Because it's a piece of shit film. No one would ever bring it up. It'd be one of those, like, lost, forgetting, some people might think it's a gem, one of those lost gems. I don't see it. I don't think many people would talk about it. I think it's dumb. I don't know. I know at the very end of the film, there's like 8 jump scares back to back to back at the very final part of the movie. It just doesn't make any sense. We're going to review this film one day. I could tell you really beat by beat what's stupid about this film.
Okay.
But there was just a lot. I remember not enjoying this, and I watched it 4 years ago. It wasn't that long when I watched it 2 times now, I think. I just thought it was just dumb. I thought it was just a dumb movie.
Okay.
So that's my number 13. Alright, let's jump to number 12. Dwayne, what is your number 12?
Halloween Kills.
Oof, I'm shocked. I am shocked Halloween Kills. You know which one that is, right?
That's the second of the new versions.
And you think that's number 12?
In my opinion.
Okay.
I like the new trilogy. but that's the weakest one. And then they kill Laurie's daughter at the end, and then it jumps like 5 years till it goes to the next one, Halloween Ends. But they have the mob going evil dies tonight. They killed the nurse from the original one or two ones, the original ones with Donald Pleasance. They killed, was it Tommy?
Yeah.
They killed Tommy. I mean, why? Why even do all that stuff? They could have had him all the way to the end or something, into the Halloween Ends. So I was expecting after the new trilogy, after the first one, I was expecting a good movie, and it was a huge letdown to me. I didn't like it. I don't know why they had to put in that mentally disturbed guy getting killed by the mob. It just, nothing on it clicked.
Some of it clicked with me. I do agree. There was a little much. It was a little messy. But I didn't, my number 12 I think is a lot worse. My number 12 goes to Halloween 2, the Rob Zombie version. Yes, that one I feel is just not good. It is pile of slop. I don't know. It has Weird Al in it. I gotta give it. That's probably why it's not 13. Had Weird Al in it. It's just you got Hobo Michael Myers, and you also have like the ghost of it. It felt like an excuse to get Rob Zombie's fucking wife back in it. He had the fucking ghost of Michael's mom, and she's on a white horse. I was like, that piece of trailer trash wouldn't be should be the fucking.
Okay, so let me roll with you on that one. My number 11 is Halloween 2 by Rob Zombie, and his exact reasons why. All right, Tyler Mane is a huge individual, and him as Michael Myers is really good. I like that.
I like him as Michael Myers. Yeah.
But where the hell did the white horse come from? The concept. Why was his wife in the movie? She's dead. But the other part of that is she was like one of the nicer people in his first thing on there. Everybody felt like they felt sad for her because her boyfriend, second husband, whatever, was a jerk to the kids. Michael was the way he was. Her daughter wasn't, bad, but she's not probably the best person in the world. And she was like the one trying to hold the family together. And then when the family gets killed, and then she killed herself, everybody, felt bad for her. But now we turn her into like a evil ghost, trying to kill her rest of her family just so she can have the family together as ghosts or something. What the heck?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I think what happened was he hated working for the Weinsteins.
Sure.
And it's supposed to be a trilogy. Well, it's supposed to be like a trilogy. I think he was like wanting to cut the trilogy to 2, so he didn't have to work with them ever again. And
it's a crap movie.
It is. Okay, that was your number 11 as well?
Yeah.
Well, my number 11 is one you brought up, Halloween Resurrection. I didn't like I did like Busta Rhymes in Halloween Resurrection. I didn't like that he just cussed out Michael Myers. Michael Myers was like, okay, and walked off. I'm a bitch. And then just it made Michael look weak. So that one to me is just, I don't know. I didn't care for the new main character. I didn't care for. I mean, the cameras in the house wasn't a bad idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it wasn't a bad idea. Just I didn't like the execution of it. I know some people really like this film. I liked it when I saw it in theaters, but I was also like a child, or maybe a young teen when this came out in theaters. I liked it then. When I go back as an adult to watch it now, I don't really care for it. I know at the end of H2O, they wanted Michael to live, and Jamie Lee Curtis gave him a deal that, hey, if we let me cut his head off in this film and make it look like I won, I will come back in the sequel and you can kill me off or whatever. It was kind of her idea. I think she just wanted H2O to be great, and let the next one, if they do it, just be whatever. All right, Dwayne, what is your number 10?
Halloween 5.
Halloween 5.
Yeah.
That one is not good.
No, that's pretty much where I'll go with it. I like that it's in Haddonfield. I like it goes with the original 6 couple movies. There's some good little scenes in there, but just not the best.
The only thing I like about 5 is they kind of have like a barn farm setting at one point. And seeing Michael in like a barn setting, I did like, just because it's different. But with the exception of that, that's all I liked about that movie.
That's it.
The only other caveat is any movie that has Donald Pleasance as Dr. Loomis also has some merit to it. So if it wasn't for him, it'd probably be a lot lower on my ranking. But I feel like 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6, I just love that character so much. I kind of like him more than Laurie, and I like Dr. Loomis a fuck ton. So I do enjoy, even though if they're bad, I kind of watch them because I like him.
Yeah, Donald Pleasance is a great actor. I've seen him in a bunch of other movies like Escape from New York and Prince of Darkness and stuff like that. James Bond is Blofeld. He's a great actor, and that's what makes those movies better. It's just that one was just not one of the better ones.
Yes, for me, on this place, what are we on, 10, 11?
10.
For me, at number 10, I gotta give it to Halloween number 6. I like parts of 6, like the Halloween vibe. I think it's one of the best. This is Halloween vibes there is. There's like a Halloween parade. I actually like the Howard Stern radio DJ. I do think it has a good horror elements and stuff like that. But with the exception of maybe Halloween 2, the Rob Zombie one, I think this is probably the messiest of the scripts. It's just a lot of cult stuff that I'm not a big fan of. Kind of like in Halloween Resurrection, they killed Laurie off in the beginning. Well, they do this one with Jamie. They kill her off in the very beginning. And Michael may have raped her. I don't know. It just depends. Because I think she had Michael's baby. Or so there's just a lot of that. It's the last one with Donald Pleasance in it. And they kind of kill Dr. Loomis off at the end. It's just... I mean, Paul Rudd's in it. If that
yeah, that's what I was gonna go with this too, because my next one is Halloween 6. So I'll just piggyback with this one. You get Paul Rudd in it, so that's actually pretty cool. But they kill Jamie. Donald Pleasance is in it a bit. One of the other doctors turns out to be evil, and they got a cult, and Michael Myers is some spirit of a demon or something. I mean, how much more retcon can we do with it? So I didn't like that one that much either.
And whenever we review this movie in a long form, I've got a hilarious story to tell you about this film, about me on a date. And anyway, we'll get into that whenever we review the film in a long form. So that was your number 9.
Yeah.
Okay. Ironically, my number 9, Halloween 5.
Okay.
We kind of hit the nail on the head on that one. It just wasn't a whole lot. And then Halloween 4, they had Jamie has her new stepsister, right? Or I guess a foster sister.
Yeah.
And she's pretty good. I liked her in Halloween 4. They killed her in 5, about halfway in the movie, and they gave like her new buddy the new kind of like big sister role for Jamie. And I didn't like her replacement at all.
No.
I liked the foster sister a lot, and they killed her off immediately, or about halfway in 5. It is a lot of bad decisions. I think was 5 the one where Michael's cruising in this hot rod with that weird mask on, and
I don't remember.
Yes, I did like that scene.
It's not one I rewatch a lot.
We watched this one a year or two ago. I don't know. Alright, Dwayne, what's next for you?
Halloween Ends.
Halloween Ends.
Yeah, it's not as bad as everybody says it is. I like the actual ending where after they kill them, they put them in the grinder and everything. The concept at the beginning is actually not bad, where the guy accidentally kills the little boy. In real life, stuff like that happens, and then you have consequences, which is where he's at the bar with Jamie's granddaughter, and the mom of the boy he killed by accident starts harassing him there.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. You know, you hear about things like that happening and everything. I was one of the ones that thought maybe Michael was grooming this kid to take over, but it didn't. But it's all right. It's not a horrible movie. A lot of people don't like it.
Yeah.
I liked it better than some of the other Halloween movies, and that's where I rank it.
My
8.
My number 8. My number 8 is Halloween, the first one. Well, Rob Zombie's first Halloween movie. It was much better than his second. Some of it was pretty good. Like when he goes to the bathroom, he kills the big old biker guy, the guy from Texas Chainsaw 3. I can't remember his name offhand. He's been in a couple other Rob Zombie movies. Like I know he's in the Lords of Salem film. Kills this big old biker, gets the trench coat. You know, there was some good stuff in this movie. Do I like his white trash background? No, not necessarily. He did have a good. You can see why everything's dysfunctional in that family. He did a good job of portraying that on camera. I don't know. Maybe not Michael Myers. Maybe if you want to do like a new character like that, maybe it just wasn't for me. That wasn't how I like to see Michael Myers. But it was a pretty decent film. This is we're kind of for me going to bad to good territory on my list. This is where things start to get a bit better, but could use improvement. And this is my number 8.
Alright, my number 7 is Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
About time.
Alright. I enjoy it more than some of the others, and I know it's not a Michael Myers movie, and if you change the name, just call it Season of the Witch, yeah, it wouldn't be part of this ranking. But the concept of stealing Stonehenge, bringing it to California, chipping away at it, putting in masks, and trying to kill a bunch of kids on Halloween night, that's a good plot. So, just difference of opinion, I thought it's a good plot. I rank it higher up. If, like I said, if it wasn't a Halloween movie, it wouldn't be in this ranking. And
Horror brought up.
it would probably, some people would like that movie. There's people that do like it. And I like it a bit. It's in the middle of my pack.
My number 7. Dwayne, you just brought this up. Halloween Ends. This could have been a lot higher. There was a lot of good with this movie, but also a lot of bad. You got this new guy who you think is going to be like the new Michael Myers. He does get beat up by a bunch of band geeks. Not football players, but band geeks. He does get him back later, which is really sick. The kills in this movie are very great. You get to see Michael Myers team up with someone. A tag team match. Kind of nice to see that. You do get to see Michael Myers get beat up by a guy who got beat up by band geeks. Didn't like. But I was like, you know what? Yeah, I kind of see where they're going with it. This new guy, Corey's going to be the new Michael Myers or the new shape. But then you kind of kill him very easily. Like, maybe they could come back to it where he did survive. Michael survived a whole bunch of bullshit. So maybe he's alive. But as of now, the kid's dead. We don't know if he's alive or not. And assuming he's dead. And he went down without a fight. And then Laurie and Michael have their fight. It was a decent fight. But was it a 40 years in the making movie fight? No. Also, there's like this weird line where Laurie's like, we show him her big floppy tits or something. I'm like, did Rob Zombie write this scene? What the fuck's happening? And I don't know. It just, I love the other two in this trilogy. I feel like the third one just had that trilogy curse. Was it bad? No, but it definitely didn't stick the fucking landing. Dwayne, what's next for you?
My number 6 is Halloween 4. We go back to Michael Myers. We get Danielle Harris in it. We get some more of his family in there. It's not the best one, but it's definitely a lot better than the others.
Definitely better than 5.
I liked it a lot, enough to put it as number 6.
5 and 4 kind of go hand in
Yeah,
hand. They're almost
yeah.
like, and 6 kind of, but 5 and 4
Pretty much back to back.
Back to back. And I think 4 was the much better of the films. In fact,
Yeah.
it's not even on my list. It's a little
A little higher up.
higher up.
Yeah,
So
I like it. It's good.
my number
6.
My number 6, Halloween 2 from 1980, right? 1980?
Something around there.
Yeah, around 1980. To me, a lot of people love it. I think it's just okay. I thought it's a little overhyped. I love the very beginning when you get to Mr. Sandman. Michael's going house to house killing motherfuckers. That was fucking awesome. I love that part. However, I think when we get to the hospital for the rest of the film, it drags a little bit. There is a nice pair of titties in this film I like, but damn, that girl's hot. And then,
Girl in the whirlpool.
yeah, the fucking bitch is hot. But the titties, I mean, it is a little boring to me. I always thought this movie's a little boring, very like kind of dark film, kind of hard to see at times. I don't know. To me, I always thought Halloween 2 was okay, just a little boring.
So that's my number 5. Halloween 2. And I'll go pretty much ready to say. They play the Sandman song, which gives it kind of like, that's his song going forward on some of the movies. It's a good one. It kind of gives you more about, they talk about him being Laurie's older brother or something like that, so you get some more backstory on it and everything. Dr. Loomis, Pleasance is in it, so that's good for it too. I enjoy it a lot. It's one I actually watched a couple of times. Watched it as a kid a lot of times, and that's when he thought where he died. And Halloween 3 was the season of the witch. So like, well, no more Michael Myers. Then they come back with 4, which is good. But this one was a good send off to him in the beginning there.
All right, my number 5 is Halloween 4. Like you brought, we're kind of getting close
To the good ones.
to the good ones, I think. I think 4 is very good. I don't know. I really like he kills that douchebag stepdad, the foster house or whatever. I really like Jamie a lot as a character. I don't really. 5, she's kind of like in the hospital most of the time, and it's like having these weird visions.
Mute or something.
Having visions and screaming a lot. I just really like this one, and he's kind of chasing her down. He has this really great shotgun kill in this movie where he sticks like a shotgun through a girl.
Yeah.
I like that a lot, and had a lot of fun with number 4. What's next for you?
All right, my number 4 is going to be Halloween 2018.
Ooh.
I heard so much about it. Everybody's saying how great it is, how it's the best one ever, all this stuff since the first one. I watched it. I enjoy it. I like it. I like it a lot. It's number 4. I'm digging how they had going with the story, introducing new characters, and I enjoyed it a lot. And that's my number 4.
My number 4, a little different. For me, let's see. For me, Dwayne, this is one you brought up earlier, but I actually liked it. Halloween Kills is my number 4. It is sloppy. I could have done without the mob shit. I didn't really need that. Again, with the fucking hospitals, I kind of was like a Halloween movie that don't take place in my goddamn hospital. There's so many hospitals in the series. But I do like some of the kills in this film. And he goes fucking ham. He kills a whole mob, kills a whole group of firefighters. He kills some random civilians. You know, I just had a lot of fun with this one. This is probably the one I've seen the least. This one, Halloween Ends. But I really had a blast. Oh, my favorite part too, the very beginning you had a flashback of what happened after Halloween 1.
Yeah.
When Michael falls, and then you get the guy from Wolf of Snow Hollow is in the flashback. You get Dr. Loomis in the flashback. Really, well, that's my favorite scene in the whole movie. Is the flashback scene.
Yeah. The guy from the Wolf of Snow Hollow was pretty good.
And he got killed at the same spot Laurie's daughter gets killed in later on in the film.
Yeah.
Alright, Dwayne, what's your number 3?
It's going to be Halloween from Rob Zombie.
What the new number 3?
Well, number 3, number 2 are hard for me to differentiate. So I'm going to pick number 3 is Rob Zombie Halloween.
Ooh.
The reason why is, alright, it's his, Rob Zombie's style is a little more dirtier, a little more darker.
A little more trailery.
Trailer trash-like. I enjoy his other movies a lot, you know. And this is his version of the Michael Myers story. You get a whole lot of backstory when he's a kid, and like you said, a lot of that backstory there, you meet the family and everything else, you don't have that in the first one, in the first series, the originals. So it gives you a little reason why he is a killer, why he does the things he do. There's a lot of actors, like you said, in this movie that are Rob Zombie's regulars. Yeah, Danny Trejo is one of my favorites of all time is in here. Bill Moseley, one of my all-time favorite horror actors.
He was 2, what? I think it's Halloween 2.
I'm not sure.
He's like a paramedic or a cop or something.
Then the guy that plays Captain Spaulding is in it for a little bit. He's the guy, the caretaker at the graveyard. The guy, the lady, Eastbrook, she's the one that played the Mama Firefly in the second in the Devil's Rejects. So it's a lot of his normal crew is in there.
Yeah.
And with giving it a backstory, it makes it feel a little more like this is why Michael Myers is the way he is. Some people don't like that he had a backstory in the original series. He just did it because he was crazy or whatever. But this gives you a reason why. And I enjoyed it a lot. I went to the theaters to see it, and I did enjoy it. So that's my number 3.
I know you and Tazy enjoy his films a little bit more than I do. I know Tazy's all the time wanting to watch him, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe not today. But for me, my number 3, I absolutely love. These are again to the Halloween movies I love. My number 3, Halloween H2O. I fucking love this film. I tell the story all the time, but me and my dad went to go see it in theaters, and then right after he goes, "You want to see it again?" I'm like, "You fucking right, I do." And then we went to go see it again, and then after we left the second time, we went back and took my mom to go see it the same day. We saw it 3 times one day. I had a blast. I loved it. Such an awesome memory. And I know when I got old enough, I took my dad to go see a Halloween film. So I just have a special place for Halloween H2O. Not a fan of The Mask, but besides that, I thought it was a great, great film. My only caveat, Resurrection is like a damn dirty diaper on the goddamn thing. That's why Resurrection was like at the bottom of my list, because Halloween H2O to me is fucking phenomenal. And then you got that piece of dumb shit right behind it. So I just like, when I watch Halloween H2O, I like to pretend there is no resurrection.
Why Resurrection is 13.
Yeah. What's number 2, Dwayne?
Hey, number 2 for me is Halloween H2O. Same reasons for Sean said. I was in the Army.
I too went with your dad 3 times.
No, almost. I was in the Army, and I went to see it back to back one day and watch it again the next. One of my sergeants went to see it before me. He says, "Hey, I'm not going to give you a spoiler, but somebody gets killed in that movie." That always made me laugh, because you think of the Halloween movie, of course he's going to get killed.
Yeah.
But the same reasons why. You have Josh Hartnett, LL Cool J, you got a lot more people in there. The characters are so well written, because the kids are trying to skip out and going to like North Dakota for a school trip or something stupid. So they're staying home Halloween to hang out at the boarding school. You think it's like, oh, you know, Laurie's story's over, and then we come back 20 years later and she continues it, and it is a well-written continuation. It's well acted, and I enjoyed it so much.
Yes, love this movie so much. Also, I love that Jamie Lee Curtis's mom is in this movie, who was the girl in Psycho that got killed in the shower, and they have a nice moment there between the two. I loved it. There's so much. I could talk about H2O for a while.
Yeah.
My number 2, I'm going to go with Halloween 2018. It was kind of tough. I think Halloween 18, to me, I think is the closest you can get to Halloween 78. Obviously, everybody's number 1 It's just such good. It's just like just a love letter. Almost kind of wish they didn't do the other two. I think if they didn't do the other two, maybe this one would have been number one for me. And it kind of started the chain of legacy sequels. Like Texas Chainsaw technically has had 2 legacy sequels, I think, after this. Maybe one before it. I think maybe both after of it. And a couple other movies. I think Leprechaun did a legacy sequel as well. Anyway, I don't know, I just love this movie so much. Just the atmosphere, I think they're the closest ones to recreate the magic. To me, way closer than Rob Zombie got. Let's talk about our number one. We both share it. Halloween 1978. You kind of can't beat the classic, the OG. This one is full of plot holes, but we love the plot holes and we love it. It just makes it even more nostalgic. You know, pointing out that one guy's like, and then I take the little girl's clothes off, and I'm like, why you take that little 6-year-old? And you know, it just. Everything about this movie, you know, it's almost one of those you can probably recite the whole movie just from memory. To me, it's like, I love this film, even with all of its plot holes. Dwayne?
Yeah, it's original, introduces everybody. He introduced Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie. We get Donald Pleasance as Loomis. It's just, everything is good about this one. I know there's plot holes. Yes, you stab somebody against the door, they just don't hang there. Their body weight would pull them down. I get that. Who taught him how to drive? He's been in psycho ward for 14 years or something like that. So who taught him how to drive a car? And Loomis brings that up. Somebody must have taught him because he's driving pretty well last night.
Yeah.
But
Loomis has the best lines in this fucking
just
thing.
the way he talks to people too, like he's a jerk to them too. But yeah, it's just a great movie. The original, you can't beat it. It's number one.
Alright guys, that's been our ranking of the Halloween franchise. We're very similar in a lot of areas, very different in others. I think only one of ours matched. That was our number one spot.
Yeah, but the rest of them were all close to each other. A lot of them were closer. There's like 2 or 3 were really different opinions.
Very different.
But
the rest were pretty close.
A lot of them were very close.
And we haven't reviewed any Halloween movies on the franchise yet, or on this channel yet. However, I'd like to do that one day. So stay tuned on the next episode. We might do a franchise deep dive on one of your favorite scary movie franchises.
It is now time for our feature presentation. Spoiler warnings.
Alright guys, this is our next review of tonight's episode. We're going to do the classic 1964 Qui-Gon.
が
夢ではない。
Alright, Dwayne, Qui-Gon. This one I was a little worried about, being from the 60s and, old school. I was like, oh man, this isn't going to be good. It's going to be boring, And it was a little of both, but it was Also good, but boring. You know, this is a horror anthology film. Has 4 different old ghost stories. So, believe it or not, there's a book published in 1904, I believe, called Quiet On. 2 of the stories from this movie were in that book. One of them was called, I think one of them was The Lady in the Snow, and then the other one was The Earless Guy. Those 2 were actually in the book Quiet On, and then the other 2 they found from other ghost books.
Okay. I believe Quiet On in Japanese means ghost story.
Yeah, I saw that, so I did some research as well. What did you think of this film, Dwayne?
I enjoyed it. Like you said, a couple of the stories are like just a few 15, 20 minutes. One of them is about an hour long,
Yeah.
but it actually is the best one. So when we go, we'll talk about them a little more in a minute here.
Yes. The first story is called The Black Hair. And this one was okay. It was shot beautifully. The whole thing was very beautifully done. It looked gorgeous. Just the colors, the Japanese samurai settings. I just absolutely loved it because I love cool samurai stuff. And if you like samurais, this might be a movie for you to check out. Just don't think of it as a horror film. Think of it as a samurai movie. You actually might enjoy this a lot better. The first story is about a samurai, and he divorces his wife to marry another woman. That way he can get more money, a richer family. And when he goes over there, he instantly kind of regrets it. He realizes pretty quick he does not love this woman at all, and he really, really misses his old wife. And I think there was like a contract for how long he had to be there, because after after that contract, I believe, was up, he divorced his newer wife, and he went back to his old town to find his old wife, and it turns out she's living at their house that's in ruins, and they're really happy. They reconnect, and she's just excited to see him as he is. And then they end up going to bed that night, and when he woke up, she's a skeleton, and he freaks out, and then her hair kills him. Okay, so the ending was dumber than dog shit. I don't know. I didn't like that at one bit. The killing hair was kind of dumb. But the rest of it, I mean, like, I just loved how beautiful it was, and just to see if I appreciated that part. And I actually was really intrigued in the story of him, regretting his decision and all that. But it was just a horror element, Dwayne, that I just hated. I thought it was dumb, and I just thought the ending was dumb. What do you think of this one?
Cinematography is great. It's very beautifully shot. Once you know that he leaves his wife and he goes back to his old wife, it's pretty predictable what's going to happen and everything.
Yeah.
Except for the hair. But her
I didn't see that coming.
For her being passed away when he gets back there being a skeleton or a ghost or whatever. That was pretty predictable. Like I said, it's more, like I said, it's more like a, what do you call it? It's a little ghost story stuff, more little gothic ghost story than it is anything else. It's not a whole lot of horror. None of the episodes of this have a lot of horror in it from the Quiet On movie, but it's actually really good. I liked it.
The next story is The Lady in the Snow, and it starts off with 2 woodcutters, lumberjacks basically, and they get caught in a snowstorm, and it's an old man and a younger guy. I guess he's like 8. I think he's like 18, and they barely make it back to the shack, and then they kind of collapse from exhaustion and just being cold. And then in the middle of the night, the younger guy wakes up to see like a ghost, like snow lady or a snow spirit. I guess sucking the life out of the old man or freezing him to death, one or the other. And then she turns around and she's like, I would do the same to you, but you kind of fine. She didn't word it like that, but she basically said, you're a good looking man, I'm going to let you live. However, if you ever tell anybody what happened here and what you saw today, I'll come back to kill you. Well, we fast forward a year later. The guy's back out on his feet. He's going back out on the job, cutting some more wood, and he runs into a young woman who is kind of lost. Her family just died, and she's going to travel a couple towns over just to live with her distant family. And he's like, "Hey, you're going to get raped or murdered if you do that." And he invites her over to stay with him. And then the next day he goes out and sucks on her titty in the field, which is kind of dope. Kind of like this one pretty good, Dwayne. And the next thing you know, they have 3 kids. We're fast forwarding to the future. She had 3 kids with a man. And you hear like the local Japanese ladies kind of gossip about how good she looks and blah blah blah. And so then it goes up to that night. He's this guy's so cool. He's making his family homemade sandals. What a cool dad, you know, making everybody them little sandals. And then he looks over and he realizes that his wife kind of looks similar to the snow spirit. And I don't know why, after, I don't know, he had to be married to her at least 5 years.
Yeah.
He's like, "Wait a minute, you look like this lady I know." He's like, what the fuck was he? How did he not just look at his wife before? Was he like only sucking on her breast this whole time? Or I don't know what. And he tells her the story about the snow spirit. And he goes, "What? It was only a dream." And she turns around and asks the snow spirit, like, "No, it wasn't." And yeah. And it turns out she was a snow spirit the whole time. And then she was, "I would kill you, but I birthed 3 children for you. I'm going to let you live." And then she leaves. And I was like, what the fuck? Dwayne, what you thinking? That was a weird ending.
Okay, so this one I liked a little more. I'd seen this story in another anthology called Tales from the Dark Side, the movie.
Okay.
In it has James Remar as the main character, and Rae-Dawn Chong, which is Tommy Chong from Cheech and Chong's fame. Her daughter, or his daughter's in it, and it's pretty much the same story. He sees a gargoyle kill a friend of his.
Yeah.
And then he says, the gargoyle says, "If you tell anybody, I'll come back and kill you." And later on, James Remar meets Rae-Dawn Chong that night, and they get married and have kids. And like 5, 6, 10 years later, he finally tells her that, "You know, that night I met you, I could have sworn I saw a gargoyle, but that's not true." And then Rae-Dawn Chong and the kids turn to gargoyles and they kill them and stuff. So I'd seen that story before, so once I started watching this, I kind of knew what was going to happen.
That was almost 100% taken from this film.
Yeah.
It almost reminds me of the episode of South Park where that cop goes undercover and like he'll go under there trying to bust guys for trying to pick up women for prostitution. But yeah, the cop goes undercover trying to stop prostitution. And then the guy will pay, "Okay, here's $100. And then the cop will let the guy fuck him, but then he'll bust him. And then, like, at the very end, the cop marries a pimp, and they leave, and they go to, like, live in a Swedish little cottage together. And it's years down the line, and they're celebrating their anniversary together. And the pimp gives him a necklace for their anniversary, and then the cop's like, "I got you something too. Freeze, you're under arrest." That's what it felt like. This whole fucking thing. It reminded me of that South Park episode. I was like, well, what's the point? Why do all? And if you're a ghost, Dwayne, and if you could become human and so much human you could reproduce. Okay, or why not just do that? You know what I mean? Alright, anyway, that's just me. Alright, that one was... Actually, I do agree with Dwayne. I do like this one better than the first one.
Definitely better.
Alright, Dwayne, this is story number 3. This is a really long one. I'm going to try and cut it down quickly as possible. Basically, it starts with them telling a story of a bunch of samurais all meeting in the middle of the water for some reason to have a big battle. A lot of people get killed. There's a young emperor who gets killed, and then it fast forwards to a couple hundred years, and there's a monastery with like a group of monks and shit, and one of them is a blind musician And one day, at night, the blind musician is sitting there, and someone tells him to follow him, and he takes him to perform for the emperor, and it's the ghost emperor and his whole ghost army. And then he does this for many nights until the blind musician's friends in the monastery. It's like, what the hell is he doing? So they follow him and find out, and the leader of the monastery is like, we gotta stop you from doing this. I don't know why they wanted to stop. They seem to enjoy it.
I guess they thought maybe the ghost were gonna keep them.
Yeah. So what they did was, to stop it, they paint this, like, I guess, religious scripture all over his body to stop from the ghost from getting him. He goes, whatever you do, don't move, don't make a sound. This will protect you. However, what they didn't account for was his ears not being painted, and when the ghost gets there, he can only find his ears. So he rips his fucking ears off. Pretty brutal. I'm glad they painted his goober though, because he didn't rip that off. Anyway, so after this ghost leaves, instead of like the guy being miserable, he has no eye, he's blind and deaf, he becomes a famous musician, and people from all over come to see him, and he becomes very wealthy from all the gifts he got. This one, Dwayne, I thought was definitely long. It sounds short for me describing it, but that's all it was. However, I thought this was just definitely the most well-written, best, I don't want to say grounded, but just, it felt like it's the most sturdy of the stories here. Very well written, I thought. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. This was my favorite one. Like you said, they start beginning, they're on boats, and samurai jumping on boats against each other, fighting each other. And then as one side's losing, they all decide to commit suicide by jumping in the water. And then, like you said, 700 years later, the ghosts of the royal family are there, and this guy's playing music for them. And one of the songs he's singing is a song about that battle and stuff. And it's really good. I was telling Sean earlier that the abbot, the leader of the monastery, was actually played by the guy who was the leader of the Seven Samurai in the Kurosawa movie, Seven Samurai. He's also in Rashomon and Yojimbo, and he's also one of the scientists from the original Godzilla movie and Godzilla Raids Again. So he's the only person I really recognize in the movie and stuff. But
I haven't seen any of those, so those are the ones we have to check out. Dwayne, the last one's super short. Let's go and talk about it. The story is about a writer who wrote a very famous story, but has no ending. The story is about a samurai who sees a man in his teacup reflection. It freaks him out because he'll look at it and there's just a man smiling at him in the reflection of his drink. And then later that day, the man in the reflection shows up at his place of work, and he freaks out. He tries to kill the man. The man's too quick, and freaks him out, embarrasses him. And then a few days later, someone tells that samurai that 3 men are asking for him, and he goes outside, and the 3 men say they work for the man in the reflection. He tries to kill them, but they're too quick. And then at one point, it does look like he finally kills them, but then they get back up and they surround him. They're like, oh shit, what's going to happen? And then they say, this is as far as the story got, the story ends here. So you're like, oh man. And then he goes back to the writer, and then the writer's either wife or like assistant is walking around looking for him, and she screams, and she runs out the room, and the writer's publisher runs in, and he looks inside of a giant like tea barrel is the writer just like stuck inside the tea. Kind of cool, kind of dumb. What do you think?
yeah, that's probably my least favorite of them. It wasn't really a ghost story as much as the guy was just thinking about, I guess, seeing a reflection in the tea and then freaking out, then his reflections in the tea later.
Yeah.
It's not the best episode on that one, so yeah.
Yeah, it's how did the fuck would he get stuck in it? I don't know. It's kind of goofy to me. Definitely, probably my least favorite, honestly. Definitely the shortest, luckily. And that is all 4 stories of Qui-Gon. Alright, Dwayne, what's your final thoughts and grade of Qui-Gon?
So, 1964, nominated for Oscar for Best Foreign Picture. Cinematography is great. Great shots. You can see where some of them are at night and they have the snow and they see in the background where it looks like it's an eye in the moon and everything. It's really well shot. The part with the sea battle with the samurai is really great because a lot of them are wearing red and the water's blue, so there's a lot of contrast and colors there. I really enjoyed it a lot. I like the movie more than I like some of the stories, if you understand what I'm saying there. The movie looked great. Some of the stories weren't as good as others, but I really did enjoy it. I'm going to give it 7 out of 10.
Alright, here are my pros and cons for Qui-Gon. Pros. It's a great samurai settings. Beautifully shot, great acting. My cons. Lots of boring moments. The horror elements are very weak. Only one story I thought was a good story from start to finish. I'm gonna give Qui-Gon 6 suckles of a snow demon's breast out of 10.
It's Tasia, Tasia, Tasia. It's Tasia.
That's me!
The Tasia Review Show, starring Sean Dills.
This is my review of Qui-Gon, and I did not like this movie.
What we got, Sean?
It's time for horror collectibles, and Dwayne is going with his favorites, the Toonie Terrors.
Alright, so y'all been on this journey with us. We've been getting the Toonie Terrors for the Monster Dome here, and this time I got the Michael Myers from Halloween, because it's our Halloween special.
Oh yeah.
I got 2 of them. I got a regular one, and I also found the chase one that has blood on them. So this one here, we have the regular one. You can see the pumpkin's a different color and everything like that. And it's just Michael Myers. Sean, you want to hold that for us? Model it for us. Thank you, sir. And over here, the one I have has blood on the face, blood on the knife. It's got a different looking color on the pumpkin, so this is a chase one. So like we showed before in the back's got a little bit of a design behind them and everything. So if you take them out of the package, you put them in front of it, take pictures, whatever you need to do with them. They have the backing for them and all that. So thought with the Halloween theme, we'd get the Halloween killer, who is Michael Myers.
These are dope as fuck.
It's cooking time, cooking time, cooking time, cooking time. It's cooking time with Tasia.
That's me!
Cooking time with Tasia, starring Sean Dills.
Okay, so today I made the Nightmare Before Christmas Frog's Breath Punch.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I remember them talking about Frog's Breath in the movie.
So I bought this at Walmart and I thought it looked pretty cool. So I decided to make this for us.
Alright. So what's in this concoction?
So it's just a drink mix, gummy frogs, and then the sugar is around the rim.
Oh.
Yeah.
Lonnie would like this.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Alright.
So
So just grab one?
yeah, just grab one.
Alright. Who? Is that apple I taste? Or
It doesn't say what flavor this is.
How much did this cost?
I don't remember. I bought it a few weeks ago.
I'm not a huge fan of it.
Yeah, I'm not either. It's not my favorite.
I don't know. We can just taste this.
Dwayne, what do you think?
Is it green Hawaiian Punch?
Could be.
Maybe.
Tastes like Hawaiian Punch.
It does.
It's just green.
Did we just buy like a $20 goddamn dollar box of Hawaiian Punch?
I guess.
I found my gummy. Now Tracy didn't make this. She actually bought the thing, so no, not on Tasty. She just told me what she was told.
Yeah. I was just following the direction.
Definitely, it's okay, but I mean, hell, it's not that great. So.
Yeah, I don't think I'll get it again. I mean, it was cool to try though.
Definitely cool to try. Love Now for Christmas. Cool concept. Just maybe not great execution. But not you, them.
Spoiler warnings.
Alright, so last year on our Halloween special, I did a video game review. I did Friday the 13th, the puzzle game. Well, this year is no different. I'm going to do another video game review, and this time we're doing Stubbs the Zombie.
Lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop. Candy on a stick, huckleberry cherry or crazy way she thrills me. Tell you why, Judy, just like the lightning from the sky. She kiss me till I can't see straight. Gee, my lollipop is great. I call her lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, lolly, lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop. Lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop. Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Make her the cutest that I've ever seen. Give her the word that I'm not a rover. And tell her that her love tonight's over. Sandman, I'm so alone. No one but you to call my own. Please turn on your magic key. Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop.
Now, I love zombies. It's tied with slashers as my favorite horror genre. I also love zombie video games, and Dead Rising is probably one of my favorite game franchises of all time. So I actually remember hearing this game coming out around 2005, and I really wanted to get it. However, it was an Xbox exclusive, and I've been riding that PlayStation dick since PS1, and I'm not hopping off anytime soon. So, best believe my joy when I found out this game was getting re-released in 2021 on all platforms. And when it came out, they got me monies. So, was the 16-year wait worth it? Let's find out. So the appeal of the game is, it's a zombie game, but this time you're the zombie. Now ironically, just months before this game came out, a similar idea game was released. It was called Destroy All Humans, but in this one, you're an alien trying to take over the world. And in this one, you're a zombie trying to take over the world. It's kind of weird how like two similar ideas come out right at the same time. It's kind of like in 2009, we got Paul Blart Mall Cop and Seth Rogen's Observe and Report. So this game takes place in a futuristic 1959 in a town called Punch Bowl. This game is sillier than fuck, and it never takes itself too seriously. We start with a couple in a park when you, Stubbs the zombie, wake up from the ground and just start killing folk, turning them into zombies. You turn people into zombies by eating their brains. You meet a robot named Guidebot during the tutorial, and I actually love the robots in the game, especially the gas station robot. When he fills up your gas tank, he's basically fucking your car.
Killer up?
Yeah, but make it snappy. We're in the middle of a zombie holocaust.
Okie dokie, one tank of extra leaded coming right up.
I'm not sure I have enough cash to cover
Oh, never you mind, sir. It's on the house.
Oh, there's no need for that.
Oh, it's my pleasure, officers. My pleasure. Hey, want me to look under the hood?
No! I need to use the restroom.
Oh, it's round the back.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll try to keep from eloping with the car.
I really enjoy building up my little zombie army, and it definitely helps thin out the numbers when you're getting attacked by cops and the army. You also get some really cool, unique, special moves. Like you can bow down people with your head, or you can actually possess people with your hand, which is really cool. You could stun enemies with your farts, and you can like throw your kidney or some shit at people like a grenade, which is very nice because the gameplay of just bite, bite, bite can feel a bit repetitive. However, most of the levels feel different from one another. Yes, you do have a handful of like just big city levels, but you also have levels like a science lab, a police station, a mall, a dam, and even go to a farm, which is pretty cool. And it kind of breaks up the formula of just big cities. One of my biggest gripes about this game is the levels don't have any background music. It's just the sounds of you walking and people screaming their heads off, which I think would help the atmosphere if we had just a little bit more music.
What's that? Holy crap!
The game I talked about earlier, which came out a few months earlier than this game, Destroy All Humans, was a great alien type game, and it had really cool, creepy alien music in the background at all times. Also, a lot of the enemies and civilians, their voice lines get like they repeat their voice lines over and over and over again. It gets really repetitive. Like, it was pretty funny the first time, but after the 52nd time of hearing it, it's not really that funny anymore. One of the first big levels you get to is a police station, and at the end of this level, you go up against the police chief. But instead of like a boss battle, he challenges you to a dance-off, which is hilarious and funny. However, it was very frustrating. The scene comes out of nowhere, plus there's no tutorial, and you're just thrown into it in a very long rhythm-based dance-off. And I'm white, which means I ain't got no rhythm. You gotta basically, Simon says the order of his moves at the same rhythm of the beat. Let's just say this was the most difficult part of the game for me. Now this game gets hard a little bit because I was playing the game on hard, and some of those levels were very difficult, especially towards the end trying to get to City Hall. But this was so much harder for me even than the hardest levels in Stubbs' Zombies on hard mode. But this one just seems something like something I'm bad at. Now you can skip this section, but I ain't no pussy. I kept going, and finally I got it beat. However, annoying as this dance-off was, I did really love the music that played during this dance-off. They played excellent covers of old 50s songs like Mr. Sandman, My Boyfriend's Back, Earth Angel, Lonesome Dove, Lollipop. In fact, these covers were so good they actually released a whole album of all these. Next up, we head to the mall, which was one of my favorite levels. We run into a bunch of chainsaw wielding rednecks, and once the level's beat, I actually got a trophy called Dawn of the Dead. I love that nod. And then right after we leave the mall, we head straight to the farm, where we discover the main farmer was the man who killed Stubbs in the first place. It turned out that Stubbs was a traveling salesman who came there to sell some shit when the farmer's daughter opened the door, and well, you know, they made love. But when Daddy got home, Stubbs didn't make it out alive, with a gun blast through the side, which today's zombie Stubbs still has, which has a cool feature in the game. Since Stubbs is always smoking, you can see smoke exit out of his side wound. Nice detail. So we get a revenge on the farmer, and Stubbs is trying to find his lover Maggie, who turns out to be the mother of the mayor, Andrew Monday. Next up, we end up at the dam, where we fight our way to the town's water supply, which we gladly piss in until it's all contaminated. Delicious. Gotta love that zombie stew. Soon we run across another boss, who is like the town's top scientist, Herman Y., who is a former Nazi. Turns out Herman accidentally turned you into a zombie. We find out from some dialogue that he used a experimental growth serum on the grass where Stubbs was buried. To me, Herman is the most difficult non-dance battle boss in the game, but a few tries and I was able to knock him out. Luckily, the game is very forgiving on when you get killed. After this, we work our way to City Hall, where we encounter Mayor Andrew Monday. One thing I love is that his bodyguards are a bunch of barber shop quartet guys, which is hilarious.
Some folks go for cantaloupe and others honeydew, but I prefer a sweeter fruit, and I think you will too. Just step right up and take a gander at the sight of Maggie's melons. You'll never find another fruit that leaves you so impressed. They're all the rage at every age, from kids to grizzled felons. So plump and firm and succulent, each melon truly blessed. You'll never want to go without, you'll always want them near. But you can't get them just anywhere, you can only find these melons here. So step right up and place your order for a taste of Maggie's melons. They're only here in Punchbowl, Pennsylvania, USA. We'll seek them out like we're hungry, thirsty Ferdinand Magellans. 'Cause those luscious melons are what I need. I won't chew your rind if you won't spit my seed. Oh, Maggie, won't you heave a couple melons my way? My way.
Once we defeat Andrew, his mother Maggie steps in, the girl we love, who tells us that Andrew is her son, and she wants us to spare his life. So we bite her instead, turning her into a zombie. when Guidebot returns to tell us they're about to drop a damn bomb on the city. So Stubbs and Maggie escape via rowboat, heading out to some poor, unexpected city. The story of Stubbs the Zombie is amazing and absolutely hilarious. It was a blast. Since this was a remake of the original, I was kind of disappointed that it didn't fix the no background music situation. There's a few things I feel like they could really touched up on since this was a remaster here. Even like some extra sound effects, so there's points where there was no sound effects either. And it just really would have made it look just a lot neater. So 16 years of wait, was Stubbs the Zombie worth it? I say yeah, it's a flawed game, but I really enjoyed my journey through Punch Bowl. I've officially beat the game twice now, and I love this silly little game. I did play Destroy All Humans when it came out in 2005, so I kind of have a bigger nostalgia for that game over this game, but I'm sure if I was able to play this game when I was 11 when it came out, I'm sure I would have loved it too, probably more than I do now. But you know, I played it when I was in my 20s, and I still really had a good time with this game. Here are my pros and cons for Stubbs the Zombie. Pros: a very funny game. It's fun building up your zombie army. Great entertaining cast of characters. Great classic covers of old songs. A good variety of different levels. The cons: lack of background music and sound effects, making it seem unfinished at times. Repetitive dialogue from the enemies. A very frustrating dance-off.
And I'm giving Stubbs the Zombie 7 bottles of zombie piss water out of 10.
Crazy way she thrills me, tell you why.
Hey, Bunny, it's me, stand-up comedian Sean Deals with another challenge. Are you up for the task?
I'm ready for another one.
Now, last time on the last episode of Monster Dome, I kind of gave you a layup. I gave you a apple cider, which is one of my favorite things. This time, a little more difficult. A flavor that I'm hit or miss on. How are you with peach flavored items?
Peach? I like peach. It's not the most common flavor in drinks, but I think I can work with it.
All right. Here it is. I've got one of these in the Monster Dome as well. This is the Christian Brothers Peach since 1882. I've had this. I got 2 or 3 of these given for me as gifts. I've never once opened it, but we're going to give it to you today. See what you can create in a masterpiece.
So, I don't know that many drinks that use brandy, but I do know one called the Jack Rose that normally uses apple brandy.
Oh.
And I was like, I think there's no reason that the peach wouldn't work. So, I'll make up 2 of those, and you guys can see if you like it.
Well, I'm going to leave Bonnie to her magic, and we'll see what she comes up with.
So this one, it calls for 1.5 ounces of brandy, and as usual, I'm going to double it for 2 drinks, so I'll put 3 ounces. So that's 2. Yeah. 3. That peach smells pretty good, actually. And then we're going to do 3/4 ounce of lemon juice, so 1.5 ounces for 2. And a 1/2 ounce of grenadine, or a full ounce. And I'm going to use store-bought today since I'm kind of making these on the fly. I won't be making any from scratch, but it's good to sometimes have something like this to fall back on. grab some ice. I always forget to have the ice ready. Some chilled glasses in the freezer to get a nice shake. I've got some lemons left over from one of the other drinks, so I'll just kind of throw those in there. And there is the peach version of the Jack Rose.
Well. You ready, D. Wayne?
Yes, sir.
Alright, I'm excited.
Smells
Damn,
good.
that smells good, yeah. Ooh, that smells good. God damn! You did it again.
I wonder if it's really that good, or if it's because it's his fifth. It's his fifth one that he's trying. So
more than that.
they might be all good by this point.
More than that. I really like the shit out of this. I'm not gonna lie. You want to taste?
I'll taste it. It did that stuff smelled really good.
God damn.
That one is really good.
That is good.
Delicious.
Holy
That is
crap!
delicious.
Yeah, like
I want to finish it.
you would like this too. Cameraman likes peach.
Yeah, that's really
You want
good.
some of D. Wayne's? Well,
Yeah,
buddy,
that was good. That was really
you have done it again, and of course, this is my gift to you as a thank you.
Yeah, we'll be finishing that one for
Yes.
sure. We're making more of these with you guys.
I might have an extra one at the Monster Dome. I'll have to double check. Or it might be an apple one. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the apple one, so this drink I found, I never made this on my channel, so I went to liquor.com and just, found this recipe. It's just 1.5 ounces of that, 3/4 lemon juice, a 1/2 ounce of grenadine, which I just use store-bought. This brand is actually pretty good. And that's it, it's super simple.
Yes.
And it's not, crazy high in alcohol either. This stuff is 35, so...
Well, buddy, you are awesome. Check out her channel, One Drink 3 Bars. We've got more movies to review on the Monster Dome. We'll be back on the next episode to check on you on the Monster Dome. All right. Can't be Halloween without carving pumpkins. Just like last year, we're going to carve them up good. Y'all going to tell us who you think had the best pumpkin carving. And yeah, so let's go ahead and dig in, fellas. We got our own pumpkins picked out. You guys like carving? You guys like carving pumpkins? Oh no!
Watch out!
Alright. Let's slice and dice. We're still work in progress here. I'm working on the top.
Hey Dwayne, what are you doing? I'm screwing all the brains out of Sean's head here. It's not a whole lot. I'm almost done. About 5 seconds. Is it pick on Sean Dill's day? Hell yeah!
And I cut my top off and drew my design on it. Yeah.
Alright. Got my top off here. Tasty, how's your design coming along?
Good, I'm getting started on it.
Ooh, look at
Get the
that.
top off, all the guts are out.
Okay, we're not racing, thank you. What's your design based on?
I just found a picture on
Just
it.
classic jack-o'-lantern?
Yeah, something simple.
Dwayne, now last year you made a vampire. Anything? Can we?
I just gotta start over now. We'll do Vampire again this year. Dear God.
What? Can we know?
Just forget it. Start all over.
Okay, I guess I'll do an update later. Yeah. Finally got all my guts. My guts at the pumpkin. How's everybody doing?
Yeah, still working on my design.
Ooh,
That's done.
look at that. Looking good.
Yeah.
Dwayne?
You're not stabbing Sean. Remember, you're not stabbing Sean. Sean's your friend. Do not stab your friends.
Okay, anyway, well, I got my guts out and. Yeah, this reminds me of a story. I'm sure I'm probably told this.
Focus!
Anyway, so this one time I got mad at one of my exes because I wanted to carve pumpkins and she wanted to fuck. And then I was like, I want to carve pumpkins. And I told my friend, he's like, let me get this straight. You got mad because of this. He goes, he's like, you instead of getting him in them guts, you want to get in them pumpkin guts. What the fuck is wrong? I don't know. Anyway. Tasty's not fond of that story. Anyway, we'll continue with the updates of the pumpkin carving 2024.
That long to do that. What is fucking 2 eyes in a glory hole?
It's not
God.
glory hole. It's Jeff the Pumpkin who just ate a really hot Tostitos pizza roll. Oh, it's a whole meal. That's Jeff the Pumpkin.
Here's the pumpkin.
Alright, flip it some more. Yeah, ooh.
What a fucking masterpiece.
You did this last year. You fucking hack.
Hey, if you're good at something, keep doing it. Don't try anything new, kids. You'll fail.
Like filming and holding a camera. Looks like a damn fucking one of those found footage horror films.
That's right. It's found footage Fred.
Alright, so these look cool. We're gonna light them up and I want y'all to tell us in the comments who won the best pumpkin. So let's light these fuckers up with a candle and take them outside. Alright, Dwayne, start us off at your number 25.
I'm gonna go with Poltergeist 2. I saw this movie in theaters as a kid, and I saw the first one on HBO. I enjoyed it. I went to see the second one in the theaters with my friends and my little brother, and my mom took my sister to the same theater, but didn't tell us. They were sitting behind us. But while we were watching it, as it ended, we were getting up, and some guy jumped out and screamed boo and scared everybody in the damn theater. So I had a good time with it. But the actual movie is really good. The first one is like supernatural, like from the other side and stuff. This one, there's like a story about a preacher who had a group of people that followed him, and they like went into the desert, and something happened, and he led them to their deaths, and now he's trying to come back and get the little girl Carol Ann and take her with him and to the other side. And it's just a really good movie. I enjoyed it a lot.
Okay, that's one series I need to actually start watching. My number 25. It was going to be a tie. I couldn't decide between two films, and it came down to Day of the Dead or Land of the Dead, and I decided to go. And most people are going to disagree, but I went with Land of the Dead because that was really my first Romero film I ever watched. And it's right as I was getting to my zombie phase, is right when that came out on DVD. And I loved it. I've probably seen it 20 times, I love John Leguizamo in that film. I love the Dead Reckoning truck. I thought that was cooler than shit. I don't know why. I really love this film. and it is also, and I just love the zombies getting smarter and the atmosphere. I feel, I love watching the zombies walk around and figuring things out. That to me I thought that was pretty chilly and creepy, and I just love that. All right, Dwayne, you're number 24.
24 for me is The Lost Boys. It's another one from the 80s. I love this movie as a kid. It was the vampires in Santa Monica, where it goes, never grow old, sleep all day, party all night, never grow old. It's fun to be a vampire. Kiefer Sutherland, Jason Patric, Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, Alex Winters, the guy that played the other guy with Keanu Reeves in Bill and Ted movies and stuff. Just a fun movie, good vampire lore, lots of fun stuff in it. Just a fun movie that I loved as a kid, and I still enjoy watching it. Sean, 24?
My number 24 is, it's probably better than most of the films on this list, but this is my enjoyment level. I do love it. That's why it's on here and why I got number 24. And this is a little movie called Jaws. A lot of people will probably put that at number 1, 2, or 3. I do really love it, but for me, as an enjoyment factor, it's something I recently discovered I liked. Because I remember as a kid it bored me, but when I got older, I was like, I see why people love this. This movie's really well written, and it is just phenomenal. And it is just, you're never going to have a bad time with Jaws. It is a blast.
Alright, my number 23 is The Fly by David Cronenberg. Not the original version of Vincent Price. I'm a huge Vincent Price fan, but I enjoy the newer version a whole lot better. David Cronenberg does a lot of body horror, and this movie is about that. It's Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis. Jeff Goldblum's a scientist. He makes a teleporter. A fly jumps in there with him, and it splices their genes together, and he starts to mutate into a fly, like a human-sized fly. And it's just really gory, really fun, a lot of comedy and horror, and it's just one of the ones I enjoy. I still enjoy it.
That's another one I haven't seen. For me, my number 23, a lot of people don't see it as horror. It's probably more sci-fi, but it's my list, and this movie is just an absolute blast from start to finish. That's Tim Burton's Mars Attacks. Fucking love it. I just love the aliens. They're hilarious. Lots of people getting killed in this movie, getting disintegrated by the aliens. It is just a blast. It is like a love letter to cheesy alien films from the 40s and 50s. I kind of want to go watch it tonight. I love fucking Mars Attacks. All right, Dwayne, number 22.
22 on my list is Scream. It's a great movie, great cast, had a little bit of a twist ending and everything. A lot of people didn't see coming, and I know it's probably higher up on other people's lists, but like I said, this is an enjoyment factor, and I do enjoy the movie Scream. I watch it a lot, and it's just one I've always enjoyed, and I just think it's a great movie.
My number 22 is a hidden gem. The horror fans know this film, and it's like a select group of only real horror fans know this film, and that is Behind the Mask of Leslie Vernon. I fucking love it. It's a documentary, follow a guy who is supposed like a serial killer, and they kind of do a documentary about this guy, and he shows them the steps, finding his victim or the virgin and following her, and it just keeps going and going, and you kind of think like, is this guy really a killer? Because he acts like a normal guy, he looks like a normal guy, and by the end of the film, he's the real deal. That's pretty cool. Alright, Dwayne, number 21.
My 21 is going to be Fright Night, the original one, with Roddy McDowall. It's a good, fun movie from the 80s. Vampire moves in next door. The kid's a horror connoisseur. He loves horror stuff, kind of like us. And a vampire moves next door. Nobody believes him because they always know he's talking about horror and always having things thinking about horror. And it's a good movie. A lot of good effects, a lot of good acting, and like I said, it's just one I enjoy.
Mine is also from the 80s. At my number 21, Little Shop of Horrors. I absolutely love this film. A lot of people don't like musicals, but me, I'm fucking jamming out to it all the time on the way to work. I love this film. I love just, oh my god, the whole cast is great, is awesome. If you like 80s comedies, you know, Rick Moranis, Steve Martin, Bill Murray, John Candy, they're all fucking in this film, and they're all hilarious. And pretty good horror too, with a giant man-eating plant. Pretty cool.
Alright, so my number 20 is the movie Alien. I picked Alien because it's a horror movie. I think the movie Aliens is a better movie, but it's more of an action movie than a horror. And Aliens has been one of my favorites since I was a kid. My dad had a puzzle that was an alien puzzle they put together and stuff. And I've seen all the Alien movies. I even went to see the newest one, Romulus, and don't waste your money on it. Because it does have some callbacks to some of the people from the original movie and everything. But I do enjoy the movie Alien, and it's on my list.
Alright. I actually changed my list very recently. How recently? Today recently. My number 20, I'm going to say Terrifier 3. I fucking love this film. I saw it today, and that movie was fucking dope, dude. I'm telling you. Terrifier 3, I think it's going to be a new cult classic in the Sean house.
Okay. My number 19 is Event Horizon. I saw this in theaters when it came out. It's a ghost ship. It's pretty much a ship gets sent up to find another ship that had been missing for years, and come to find out the crew is trying to use a new jump to like a teleportation device to move through space, and it actually opened up a rift into another dimension, and some of those demons and monsters, ghosts, whatever you want to call them, are on that ship still, and when the new crew gets on there, they start being attacked by them. It's a great effects, great story. I enjoyed it very much. Lawrence Fishburne, Sam Neill, a bunch of other people are in it. I enjoyed it, and it's one of my favorites. Event Horizon. Sean?
My number 19. Well, I know I just did a musical recently. I want to do another one. Repo, the genetic opera. It doesn't sound very frightening, but there is a ton of blood in this film. About a guy who goes around, if you didn't pay the company back, like say you got a kidney replacement and you didn't pay the company back, the repo man comes and takes it back for you and usually kills you in the process. It is a blast. Tons of cool actors, tons of great songs in this film. A bloody good time.
Alright, my number 17 is the movie Sinister. I watched this movie one time only so far in my life. One time is enough. People have seen this movie, know what I'm talking about, where he's watching the home videos, and they're titled like Pool Party. Have you seen this movie?
No.
It's titled Pool Party.
Wait, which is Sinister?
Sinister.
Yeah, I think I have seen it, yeah.
Okay. Like the video be titled Pool Party, and then what it is, it's about somebody's videotaping them killing their family in the pool, like drowning them. And another one's like mowing the yard or something, and it shows the scene I'm talking about is where they drive a rotting mower or something over the family. This is a pretty good possession movie. The twist at the end with the person possessing children to do this, and one I actually did scare me when I watched it the last couple of years. So I put it on my list.
Now that was it had the guy from Entourage, did it not? That's okay. Forgive me.
Why you gotta fuck up everything?
Forgive me. I thought this was 18, not 17.
I just did 7.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, don't matter.
My next one is Halloween H2O. Yes, Halloween H2O. I love this film. I remember seeing this in the theaters with my dad, and after the movie was over, my dad looks at me and goes, "You want to go see it again?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's go see it again." So then we went and saw it again, and then after it was over, we looked at each other. My dad's like, "You want to go see it tonight with your mom?" I was like, "Yeah, I want to go see it again." And then that night we came back with mom and watched it again. I fucking loved it. And then years later, when Halloween 2018 came out, I took my dad out to go see it because we really bond over the horror movies, and Halloween's definitely probably our favorite.
Number 17 is one that Sean's talked about already, called Behind the Mask, the story of Leslie Vernon. Sean's explained a lot of it to you already. I just say that I do enjoy it. It's a horror comedy, and emphasis on the horror. There's comedy in there also, but it's a horror comedy, and it's one that when I first watched, I was like, holy cow, this is actually cool. They're like doing a documentary on a serial killer as he sets up to kill. And I loved it because it shows like how they rig things. Like he's saying, how come the lights always go out? Well, I've got control of a breaker in the house. I can push this button to make all the lights go out, and then I can control it from over here. Then how he sets up the nailing the window shut before they get to the house, so they know stuff's doing like that. He pre-cuts limbs so that when they climb out onto the tree, the limbs break.
Yeah.
It's all the horror tropes you see in movies, and he's talking about how they set up beforehand. It's a great movie. I enjoyed it a lot, and I actually enjoyed when we talked about the Hatchet series. I think Hatchet 2, they talk about the movie Behind the Mask, Leslie Vernon, talking about it being the legend of that guy and stuff, and I thought that was a cool little nod in that movie to this movie. Sean, 17?
My number 17, my second UFO film. This one a little more serious. Probably the only M. Night Shyamalan movie I really, really love. It's a movie called Signs. I just love it. I know on a previous episode we're talking about favorite horror settings. One of mine was farms. I love it. Here, you got the cornfield, you got the barn, and then you got them running in the cornfield from the aliens. It's really fucking cool, man. I love it. I love that you don't see the aliens till about halfway through the film, and then even when you do see them, it's very little. So, it's just, you're just kind of in your house. What's going to happen? It's all, everything's unknown. I love that. That's what makes the movie so great to me. I love Signs. Probably my favorite alien film.
Alright, my number 16 is The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Oof.
I know difference of opinion here, but I do enjoy this movie a lot. I like this one more because of the comedy element in it. It is a little bit more about the family. The dad's the oldest brother is a little more crazy out there. You have Bill Moseley as Chop Top, who is great in this film, and everybody loves his performance in it. And I'm picking Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 more than the original because of the comedy element in this one, which I enjoy a lot.
Oh, that hurt. My number 16, I'm going with Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. This is my favorite standalone Freddy film. It is a lot of fun with all the, powers and the dreams. People I could be a wizard. I can be, a cool badass biker babe. I love Dream Warriors. It is such a fun film. And then they got my favorite Freddy kill, which is where he flips the dude up and walks him like a marionette using his fucking veins. That is brutal and fucking metal. I love it. And then you also have the famous "Welcome to Prime Time, bitch" kill. 2 awesome kills in that film. Is by far my favorite Freddy film.
Alright, my number 15 is Hatchet.
Oh.
I saw Hatchet a long time ago. I loved all the gore, the slapstick horror, all the blood and everything. Crazy kills. I like the story. I know that as the series progresses, the stories get more and more in depth. You learn more and more about the origins. But this is the first one, and I do enjoy this one the most out of the whole series. So Hatchet is on my list. Sean?
My number 15. Another George A. Romero film has made it to the list. And which one am I pick? I'm not going to pick Night of the Living Dead, but I'm going to pick the sequel, Dawn of the Dead, the original. I love this film. You start out with them killing a bunch of black people in an apartment complex that has a zombie virus. And I love seeing the people at the news station freaking out what are we going to do? What's going to happen? What is this? What should we do with everything? And you can see the panic of nobody having all the answers. And then we head to the mall, and I love this movie. It has some great gore in it. A lot of fun.
My number 14 is going to be Hellraiser 2. I enjoy the Hellraiser series up until 4, I think it is. 3 is not that good, but 4 is actually good. I'm a Clive Barker fan. I've read a lot of his novels and short stories, including all the books of Blood, and Hellbound Heart, and the Scarlet Gospels, and all them. Hellraiser 2 actually has a little bit of backstory on some of the Cenobites, especially Pinhead. It continues with Christie's story, and it has some really good, not twists, but reveals at the end, where the Cenobites get killed by a new Cenobite. And as they die, they're turned back to their human form, and you find out one of them was like a little boy and stuff. So, it just for the shock value at the time, it's a great movie, and it's one of my favorites, Hellraiser 2.
Alright, my number 14 is a more recent film. We're going to go with It, Chapter 1. Now this is the newer one, not Chapter 2, but Chapter 1. I love the atmosphere of this movie. The young kids, they felt like real kids trapped in this whorish town. Not like horror, like prostitute horror, but like horror town. And I just love him tormenting the kids and doing all kinds of kooky shit as Pennywise. This movie is a lot of fucking fun.
Alright, my number 13 will be the Universal classic movie, The Mummy. Boris Karloff is the Mummy. It's really well written, really well directed. Cinematography is really good. It's a good story. It's just a classic, and it's one of my favorites from Universal.
My number 13 is a movie we've reviewed recently, Housebound. I love this film. I've seen it like 6 or 7 times. A good little kind of a ghost film. It's just absolutely fun. If you guys want to hear me talk more in depth, we do have a review up right now, right here at the Monster Dome.
Alright, my number 12 is An American Werewolf in London. From the 80s, great movie. Everybody knows about American Werewolf in London. Great effects, great kills, awesome story. Some of the best cinematography I've seen. And I think it won awards for the FX and everything in it. It's just a great all-around horror comedy that I like, and it's number 11 on my list.
Alright, for me, I want to go with the best horror romantic movie ever made to me. I love me Candyman. I think it has the best horror theme ever. I just love the romantic vibe to it, of him wanting to be with that woman and then the horrible thing they did to him when he was human before he became Candyman. I love this movie. I don't know if you share the love of Candyman that I have, but I really like Candyman.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan of Candyman.
Just Candyman 1 though.
Alright, my number 11 is going to be the Universal Classics, The Wolfman. Werewolf kind of theme here. I enjoy the werewolf movies, and Lon Chaney and The Wolfman is one of my favorites. I like watching all the Universal Classic ones, and it's just one I watched as a kid, and I still enjoy it to this day.
Alright, my number 11. Freddy once again makes the list, but this time he's not alone, because at number 11 I have Freddy versus Jason. They don't fight once. They fight, I think, twice. It's Freddy versus Jason. It's an absolute blast. I remember the fucking hype this movie had. I remember it's my news station. The damn news station was talking about it. And how, like, you know, oh, we got to go. Everybody's going to go. You know, I remember the guys in the news, so we got to go see Freddy vs. Jason. And I knew I had to go see it because I didn't want anybody spoiling it for me at school. I want to say I was in fourth or fifth grade, and I was like, ain't nobody going to spoil it for me. I made sure we went as early as possible to see Freddy vs. Jason. And boy, howdy, was it worth it. We loved it. I love this film.
Alright, Sean, top 10 time.
Top 10.
Alright, my number 10 is going to be The Howling. We're keeping with werewolves for a little while there. I was thinking about werewolves movies. I was putting them all together. The Howling is another 1980s movie. Came out almost the same time as American Werewolf in London. Overshadowed by American Werewolf in London with the FX. But this is another one. It starts off with a woman trying to... this is a news reporter. She's on the case of a serial killer. Police end up shooting them, but then the body goes missing, and she goes to a retreat because of the trauma she felt about this. And at that retreat, you come to find out the guy was part of that retreat, and he was a werewolf. And so then you have a werewolf hunting her down in the woods with her husband. And when I say retreat, it's like a little colony of people and stuff. And you come to find out some of them may or may not be werewolves. But it's a great movie. It's one of my all-time favorites, and it's The Howling.
My number 10 is considered the greatest horror film of all time. Dwayne, what do you think it is?
Halloween.
The Exorcist. That's right, Dwayne. The Exorcist. The movie, people were screaming out of theaters. Most people consider this and Halloween to be the greatest horror films of all time. I love it. To me, the film is absolutely perfect. Every scene in this film, Dwayne, has purpose. Everything's just like a nice piece of thread making a beautiful blanket. Everything in this movie is there with a purpose, and I see why everything's in it. I love The Exorcist. However, this is pure enjoyment for me. I know this movie is perfect. However, there's probably 9 other horror films I get more enjoyment out of watching. Dwayne, what's your number 9?
My number 9 is be A Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Me and Sean agree.
Yes.
This is my favorite one. This starts where Freddy starts having a little bit of comedy in there. He starts doing a little more quips. More of a backstory. You learn that his mom was a nun that was left in for the weekend. It was a mental asylum. Son of 1,000 maniacs, all that stuff. The first 2 were kind of serious, where Freddy was like a supernatural monster, but this is the first one where he had a lot of fun with Freddy's person, and a lot of the first 2, they kind of put him in the shadows. Yeah. They actually show like his real face and the effects, and even though he's all burned up and everything, they're showing it up and stuff. And this is my favorite of the Nightmare on Elm Street series, Nightmare on 3.
Alright, they did go to a pool party in 2. Alright, my number 9, Get Out. Jordan Peele's first film. Out of all 3 of his films, I feel like this is the most flawless of the 3. Like this one is just, it is pure fucking chemistry to me. It is beautifully written. I've seen it 6 times maybe. It's only been out maybe less than 10 years. I love this film. I watch it all the damn time. It is a great film. If you haven't seen it, you gotta watch Get Out.
Alright, my number 8 is Friday the 13th, Part 2. I enjoy Part 2. First one is always a classic, but number 2 is my favorite because it's the first time you actually have Jason as a killer.
And he has a potato sack on his head.
He wears a potato sack. 6 is my actual favorite of all the series, but 6 is more comedy, I guess.
Yeah.
A lot more comedy than some of the others, but with the first appearance of Jason as the killer, puts this one up on my list here.
My number 8, Dwayne's already put on his list. For me, it's American Werewolf in London. I think this movie is so good. I've only seen it once, maybe twice, but I really dig this fucking film. It is funny. It is so crazy good. There's great horror in this movie, and special effects are phenomenal. I still don't think there's been a werewolf movie that has better werewolf than the werewolf in American Werewolf in London.
My number 7 is The Fog. John Carpenter's The Fog. So John Carpenter is the director. We've got Tom Atkins in it. We've got Adrienne Barbeau, Jamie Lee Curtis, a lot of the people that are in his other movies. And It's also got Jamie Lee Curtis's mom, Jennifer Jason Leigh, in it for a few minutes. This is a great movie. The atmosphere, the story is find out that some people that were a couple hundred years ago had a leper colony. They wanted to move close to where this new town had started. And the people are like, yeah, you can move close to us, just give us all the gold you have, and that would be the payment to live close. And once they accepted the gold, they kind of sunk their ship that they were sailing over on, and the people died on the ship. And when the fog comes in, it brings these ghosts back 100 years after that incident happened. A lot of atmosphere, good effects, good kills. The Fog, one of my favorite John Carpenter horror movies.
Alright, my number 7 is also one of Tazy's favorite films, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Yeah, boy. It is fun from start to finish. It is a blast. I've seen it a lot. I remember finding it for free in a bargain bin at McKay's. And I had no idea what it was. I just knew, I was like, this looks crazy. So we picked it up, watched it, and I've been watching it ever since. Killer Clowns from Outer Space is just, it is like pure, guilty pleasure fun, except, I don't have a conscience or shame, so I just let that freak flag fly. Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Alright, my number 6 is The Shining. Another 1980s movie. Stanley Kubrick made it, based off the Stephen King novel. Of course, everybody knows that Stephen King did not like this version of it, because in the book, the dad has a relapse from the alcohol, not having alcohol for a while, and he goes a little crazy. They play that up in the movie a lot. Jack Nicholson's in it, one of my favorite actors of all time, and the way they made it was, they made it more about him being crazy than anything else. And it's got ghost stories, haunted house, psychic kid, everything you can think of, and an axe killer in there. So The Shining, one of my all-time favorites, is number 6 on my list.
All right, everybody. I'm sure some of you might know my 2 favorite genres are slashers and zombies, and we're about to have my 3rd zombie film on the list. At number 6, I've got Shaun of the Dead. I love Shaun of the Dead. Oh my gosh, I've probably seen it 10 plus times. It is the foreshadowing in this film is great. The writing is just tremendous. It's just, oh my god, I love it so much. I'm sure most people who like horror, this is one of your favorites as well. Also, Hot Fuzz, the one right after it, of the Cornetto trilogy, is almost as good, if not better, but that one's more of like a cop action horror film. So I kind of count Shaun of the Dead more, because it's just pure zombie chaos. And they treat, even though it's a comedy, the zombies are kind of treated seriously, which I love. I think, treating the monsters as a serious threat, but people having just goofballs in the title picture, I think that's a good combo. Alright, top 5, everybody. Top 5.
Alright, my number 5, in case you will never guess this, is a Roger Corman classic with Vincent Price called The Abominable Dr. Phibes. It's one of my all-time favorite movies from them. Dr. Phibes is a doctor who also knows how to he's also a musician. His wife gets hurt in a car crash. He's on his way to get to her, and he gets into a car crash, and his wife dies on the operating table, so he blames the doctors and nurses who were operating on her that couldn't save her, because he thinks he could have, but they didn't. So he thinks they were incompetent, so he goes on a murderous rampage to kill all of them. And he does it kind of like how they're doing with the Saw movies now, where he has traps set up and everything, but he does it on the biblical 10
Commandments.
No, sorry. The 10
Plagues.
He does it based on the 10 plagues, and it's one of my all-time favorite movies, The Abominable Dr. Phibes.
I saw that on sale the other day.
Where at?
Voodoo.
Oh, okay.
Scrolled right by it. I've never seen it. I probably will one day. My number 5 My favorite werewolf film, The Wolf of Snow Hollow. Oh, this movie is so good. It's about a cop, and his dad's the sheriff, but he's kind of getting too old, so he's kind of stepping in. He's got an anger issue as well, and then there's a bunch of murderers going around town, and people think it's a werewolf, but he doesn't. But a lot of people think it is, and it is just absolutely blast. I love American Werewolf in London, but I think this film is just slightly better.
Alright, my number 4 is the original Halloween. Donald Pleasance, Jamie Lee Curtis, everybody else in it. John Carpenter directs it. You know, I'm a huge John Carpenter fan, not only his horror, but his other movies also. And everybody's already talked about it enough. I don't have to say anything else about it. My number 4 is the original Halloween.
I also have a Halloween movie as my number 4. It is not Halloween 78, but it is Halloween 2018. I think this movie is great. Oh my gosh. If, kind of seeing how the trilogy ended, I kind of wished they may have just done one great one instead of a trilogy. But this one is just, I absolutely love it to pieces. Don't want to go any further about it, but I love Halloween 2018.
Alright, and number 3 is Jaws. I grew up on Jaws. I saw Jaws in the drive-in theater. My mom and dad took us, me and my brother and sister, to see as kids. I still kind of turn my head every time the head pops out of the boat. But like you said, the writing, the dialogue, the production, seeing the shark underwater when the guy's falls out of the boat in the pond. They call it the pond, like the little area in there. And you see the white and the gray just sliding up to him as he's trying to get back in the boat. Where he gets Quinn at the end, I'm always sad because I always like Quinn as the best character. Jaws is my number 3. Sean?
My number 3. It's weird that my number 24 is your number 3 there. And one of your higher up films is my number 3. And that is Scream. I love Scream. I love Scream a lot. Especially that first one. So good. People say, a lot of people ask you, hey, what age were you allowed to start watching horror films? You know, some people say, I was 7. Some people say a teenager. For me, there was no age. I was allowed to watch horror films my whole entire life. My parents were pretty fucking metal. And since memory, I've been a Scream fan. And they said I would watch... Well, we used to be able to steal pay-per-view, and we could watch pay-per-views whenever. And so they said I would sit there and watch Batman, Robin, Scream. Batman, Robin, Scream, back to back. And like I said, now I hate the Batman, Robin film, the Joe Schumacher thing. But I still love Scream. And it is just absolutely one of my favorites. I love the franchise. Because I also like mysteries too, so it's just right up my little butthole alley. Dwayne, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is one you've already mentioned. And as you're saying this, you talk about watching at a young age. My parents also did not, I won't say didn't care, but didn't censor what I watched. And I watched The Exorcist at a very young age. And that movie has stuck with me for a long time. So my number 2 is The Exorcist. I know everybody's talked about it. If you're a horror fan, you've pretty much seen The Exorcist. I don't think I'm much further into it. That's just my number 2 movie of all time for my favorite horror movies, The Exorcist.
You know how good The Exorcist is?
How good, Sean?
You said that you watched it as a kid and it stuck with you. I watched this motherfucker in my 20s and that thing still sticks with me. Like, it is like, damn, this thing... I was thinking about it like for a whole 2 days of how good that film was, how freaky it was. Absolutely loved it. And my number 2, Dwayne, this is on your list as well. Halloween 1978. This movie is so great, and it was so close to getting number one, and the 1 and 2 were battling back and forth. Who's going to get it? Who's going to get it? But I think I'm going to have to put Halloween 78 in the back seat at the number 2 spot, even though I love it, and this was also a movie I've loved so long that I have no memory of the first time because it's been in my Rolodex of horror films since before I could remember. I remember I've met a lot of the cast. I remember meeting, who's that girl who he strangles with the phone cords? Do you remember her name?
I don't know.
Wait a minute, I met her in person.
PJ Souls?
Yeah, her. And I remember meeting her in person, and I say I watched Halloween every year since probably birth. And she goes, "Oh, that's awesome, that's awesome." And I was like, "That means I've seen the old titties every year since birth, little lady." Anyway, I love Halloween. It's full of plot holes, but guess what? I love it. No matter, even with those in it, I still just love this movie. The atmosphere, the suburb. It is great. And Dwayne, should we guess each other's number ones?
You can guess mine if you want.
Okay.
Alright, so anyway, my number one, right? And you're talking about them being close and everything, hard to... My number one was easy for me. It was number 2, 3, and 4, which was Exorcist, Jaws, and Halloween. Those were the ones I'd struggle guessing.
Is it The Thing?
It's The Thing.
Yeah.
I once again, huge John Carpenter fan. Love all his movies. I love his horror movies. I love all his movies. Been watching The Thing since it's been out on HBO in the early 80s. I watch it on TBS now. I've got it on DVD. I've watched it and I've watched it and I've watched it and I've watched it. It's my all-time favorite. The FX is great. You gotta be fucking kidding me when the thing grows. The head has a little spider legs come out and
that's unreal. The shit they pulled off in the 80s.
I know. The guy's head melting off. The guy doing the CPR on him and gets his hands cut off.
Oh yeah.
Everything. Just Kurt Russell, all the other actors in there. Wilford Brimley. Is it Keith David? But just with all the other actors in there, it's just a great all-around ensemble, great all-around movie, and lots of action, a little bit of comedy in there, but it's just a great movie from beginning to end.
That was in my original top 25, my original blueprint. Somehow, I don't know how it got cut off. You want to guess my number one?
No, you're good.
Okay, my number one, and this is how I know it's my number one. Halloween I've seen since memory has been there for me. This other one I didn't see until a few years ago, and I think it's just as good, but probably better. It's kind of like The Exorcist. I think it's a perfect film. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, number one, the OG, because number 2 ain't as good. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I love it. Oh my God. Just the brutality, the dirtiness, everything in this film. I love it. I have zero complaints about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. One, I love it. I don't like the goofier directions the sequels went into. I know you kind of like the sequels for that reason. He's wrong. And the Texas Chainsaw Massacre one, my number one and your number one is The Thing.
The Thing.
Oh man, what a fun list. Who knows, maybe we'll find more movies down the road we'll review that might make it onto the list one day, but that's a story for another day, and it's time for us to move on the Monster Dome.
It is now time for our feature presentation. Spoiler warnings.
Time for our final review of the day. We have the very famous Audition.
オーディションやろう。
息子に言われたんです。最近しょぼくれてるんで再婚でもしたがって。あさみ、
本当にオーディションするのか。
何もお前の再婚相手を探すためだけにオーディションするわけじゃないよ。
山崎あさみです。
俺はもう決めた。
あの女を見たのか、あの女の体に触ったのか。
私だけは返してくれなきゃ嫌よ。この人はいけません。言葉なんか嘘だけど痛みだけは信じれるのよ。あなたは私の全部にはなってくれないのね。足がなければどこにも行けないでしょ。痛い？
So this movie, Dwayne, this movie was good. I almost think it would have been better if it wasn't a horror film, in my opinion, because like 90% of it is not horror. It's just the 10% that is horror, and I think it may have been a little overhyped. It's on a lot of people's greatest horror list of all time. I don't think it belongs there. Just me. That's just what I'm saying. All right, Dwayne, what you think?
Yeah. So there's a lot of hype about this movie. It's about 15 years old now. I've seen it reviewed on like IFC and all kinds of people talking about it, saying one of the greatest horror movies ever. It's not a horror movie. It's more of a suspense movie, and there's like one jump scare in the middle, and then at the end, the last 10-15 minutes I think has the horror element to it. And even then, it's not really horror or bloody. You know what's going on, but they don't show it. And then they'll show like a body part, we talk about spoilers, they'll show like a body part, like a foot getting flying off, or she cuts off the guy's foot and stuff, or there's parts where she's taking the acupuncture needles and sticking them into him, going like tick, 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 just tapping them in. But I mean, nothing real squeamish. No, not a lot of blood. I mean, it's
just a little
bit. It's not a great horror movie. It's a good suspense movie. It's really good suspense, but it's not a horror movie.
I remember seeing this on TV. Well, not the movie, but I heard people talking about it. I thought she cut someone's dick off. Because everybody's talking about how crazy the end was. I was like, it always led to the assumption someone's getting their dick cut off in this film. And a lot of people also said, oh, she deserves her revenge. They might have been joking around because like nobody deserved to get what they got at the end. So let's go ahead and give you the story. It starts off in a very emotional moment of a man losing his wife. And very sad, he lost his love. And then it goes about 7 years in the future, and the man is with his son, who's a teenager, and they have a wonderful relationship. I love the bond that him and his father had in this film, this movie. They seemed like they really cared about one another. I thought it was a great relationship. I enjoyed seeing those two and talking. And then there's actually one thing kind of reminded me of me and my dad in this. There's a scene where he's sitting in his little office and his son walks in. He goes, "Hey Dad, I brought a girl over." He goes, "Oh really?" And like, I don't know, he's all proud about it. And then like next thing you know, he's getting a coat on and a scarf, and he's like gonna go walk the dog. He goes, "Hey, I want to go to the park and walk the dog." I was like, "My boy, look at that." And that happened to me one time. I don't know if it was deliberate, but it felt like it was. Like one day I brought a girl over to the house, and I called my dad like, "Hey, I'm bringing this girl over." He goes, "Oh, okay. I'm gonna go play Pokemon at the park for a few hours." I was like, Hell yeah. Thanks for looking out. And that's what it reminded me of. You know what? I love that. But anyway, back to serious mode. So the bond between the father and son is really great. And one day his son's like, Dad, you should remarry. And it's like, okay. You know, he's like, yeah, that's what my son wants. I'll remarry. I was like, what a cool dude. And so he goes to his buddy. I guess they work at like a movie or a TV production company. And his buddy's like, hey, why don't we just have an audition? Make it look like it's for a movie, and then you can kind of like pick a girl out and maybe try to date her from there. And they do that. They do so. And he reads some of their bios. And before they even have the audition, he's kind of sure he's going to pick this one girl just from her bio. And sure as shit, when they do the auditions, he's only interested in her. And so after the audition, he calls her up, and they kind of go out a few times. And it's pretty clear that they like one another. And he tells her, like, hey, look, they decide not to move forward with the project. And then they kind of continue their relationship. And then he's going to go take her out. He wanted to take her out of town for a little bit. And they go out, I guess, out of the city. And they meet at a hotel. And they're sitting there, and she goes, do you promise to only love me? He goes, yes. And they fuck. And then the next morning, or early morning or late night, the hotel calls him, tells him his girl, his companion has left the building. And he's like, what the hell? He's freaking out. And he goes to his buddy, who's trying to get him to help him. And his buddy's like, dude, just stop. What are you doing? He goes, you're falling too. He goes, look, dude, just let it go. Find another one. You know, he goes, you're too blinded right now. You don't, you know, she's probably bad news. And then, like, he's also doing background checks on her, and nothing's checking out. He goes, it is for the best. He says, you're blinded by your love here. And he gets pissed and walks off. And his son does the same thing. He was joking around with him. He goes, Dad, you can't see it because you're blinded by love. And there's even another foreshadowing thing when his dad asked the son, he goes, hey, where's that girl you brought over? How's that working out? He goes, I just got rid of her. He goes, what? Why? He goes, she wasn't what she seemed. And I think that's kind of the theme of the film is don't be blinded by love. Kind of take your time with it or you'll get a crazy bitch. And I think that's the theme of the movie, Dwayne. So we spend the next 15 minutes doing Scooby-Doo detective work. And he's like, he goes home, drinks some a little whiskey. He gets up and holy shit, he's been drugged. And he somehow has like a 10-15 minute vision quest of her whole past and how she was like a ballerina and her stepdad abused her and possibly raped her. It kind of looked like he had some evil like eyes there. And then that she was dating some musician and he cheated on her, abused her, and she cut 3 of his fingers off, cut his tongue out, and keep them in a bag, and only lets them out to eat her vomit. And that was kind of freaky. Like I was like, that kind of freaked me the fuck out. And then he wakes up, and then she kind of has him chained down, and he's paralyzed, and she's sticking all these needles in him. And she says that the way she paralyzed him, he feels the pain twice as much. And she puts some shit like right under his eye, and she's just abusing him. And she's pissed because she thinks they did the audition just to sleep with women, which is kind of true. But he did I feel like he really did love her. So it almost feels like this is for nothing. And then she sawed his fucking foot off with a piano wire, which was kind of crazy. And she got a good way into footy number 2 when the son walks in. And then he's like, no. And then he wakes up, and then apparently it's a dream. But then it wakes back up, and it's not a dream. And then she's about to kill his son. And she does like some kind of weird pepper spray thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck that was. And then the son goes up the stairs, she follows him, and he quickly kicks that bitch down the stairs, snapping her neck. And then he calls 911, and that's how the movie ends. Whew, that's a lot to say, and it was. I kind of wish they just didn't do the horror element. It was actually really good up until that point to me. I thought it would have been a really good film without all that. Dwayne, what's your thoughts here?
I did like it. Like I said, I've heard a lot about it. I think there was a lot of hype behind it. But like you said, it was just a suspense movie. I would have probably liked it more, but it was billed as horror, and as a horror movie, it's not that great. I'm only giving it like a 6 out of 10. I did not enjoy it as much as other people have.
Damn,
that's just how I feel. I didn't enjoy it as much as other people have.
You want to hear a funny story? Damn, Dwayne, you're supposed to hype me up here.
I would love to hear your story.
Okay,
Go ahead,
so,
John.
Right.
I'd love to hear it.
Alright, so when I told my parents I was doing this tournament around the world, my mom, Frankie, said, you gotta do the audition. Do the audition. And then she told me she watched it years ago, and there's a scene in the film where the girl is sitting there just waiting by the telephone for the man to call her. And then you see right next to the telephone is a sack. And then it kind of zooms in a little bit, and then the sack moves, and you see someone's inside it. And when that scene went down, and I kind of saw it coming. I've seen enough horror movies like something bad's in that sack.
Yeah, that's the jump scare part I was talking about.
Like yeah, the beginning of it. She said that it freaked her out so bad she went to cover her eye, but accidentally punched her eye and blacked it. So she went to work the next day like, what the hell happened? She was, I was watching a horror film and I got so scared I blacked my own eye. So yeah, I mean it does, I guess, scare some people. I know it scared her a lot. I didn't see it coming, but it was freaky. And then the scene where she lets the guy out of the bag and he's got like the 3 fingers and no tongue, that was freaky. But like, you know, that was also like a kind of weird vision quest he's on, so we don't know if that was real or not. You know, and it just feels like the whole thing was pointless because he really did care for her. I probably would have only loved her. He was a, you know, I don't think he's really been with hardly anybody in those 7 years after his wife died. The guy was a pretty good guy. I mean, it's kind of shady the way he went and did it, but besides that, he's a pretty stand-up guy. Here are my pros and cons for the audition. My pros: great acting, directing, and for the most part, great writing. The horror was intense and pretty good when it was on screen. I was glued to the TV from start to finish. The cons: confusing and bad ending. I'm gonna give the audition 7 self-inflicted black eyes out of 10. It's Tasia, Tasia, Tasia. It's Tasia.
That's me.
The Tasia Review Show, starring Sean Dills.
This is my review of Audition, and I loved this movie. I was really into it the whole time. I thought it was very interesting. I liked the story that they were telling. I was really just, I had my eyes on the screen the whole time. I was just so invested to see what was going to happen.
Alright, it's time to total up the brackets. But before we total up, let's see what the leaderboards look like. In first place with 48 points, it is South Korea. And in second place with 46 points, we have Australia. And at 42 points, we have China in third place. And after tonight, we're totaling up Japan. And Japan makes the leaderboard. It knocks China out and gets the third place spot with 44 points. That means everybody's 2 points difference here, and it means for the other countries coming up, you got to be top notch. So that means China is out, Japan is in, or around the world tournament, and we got a few more countries left. And if you want to find out where we're gonna go next, stay tuned after the credits. All right, Dwayne, it's time for Tazia's favorite segment. It's Kill of the Night.
I'm gonna lure you into the dark. My cold desire to hear the boom, boom, boom of your heart. The danger is I'm dangerous, and I might just tear you apart. Oh, oh, oh. You're my kill of the night.
Alright, Dwayne, we have 3 awesome movies. One Cut of the Dead, Qui-Gon, and The Audition. But which of those movies had the best kill to make it to Kill of the Night? Alright, Dwayne, I think we both agree there's only one possible answer because there's only one kind of cool kill. Not even that cool, really. And that's what's her face in The Audition. I don't know her name.
Yeah. We talked about it. One Cut of the Dead, no kills. Qui-Gon had a little bit of kills, but it was like minor characters.
So it's like a guy getting killed by hair or a woman getting kicked down the stairs. Basically what it went down to. And we thought the hair thing was stupid, so getting kicked down a flight of stairs, breaking your neck is the winner. Unfortunately, Japan didn't really bring the kills this week.
Nope.
But stay tuned after the credits. We'll see what country we're going to next and if they can bring some awesome kills. So stay tuned to next week. Everybody, thank you. We had such a blast. Such an awesome Halloween. So this is our Halloween 2024 special. Dwayne, did you have a good time?
You just hit me.
Okay.
I did. I had a great time. I've been sitting here with Banks, doing like this, playing with my cat, watching Sean talk about balls and nuts a little while ago and everything. And we had our Japanese horror around the world. We had our Halloween special. I really enjoyed our top 25.
Yes.
They may change up. I just recently, we talked about seeing some of the movies that we're doing in the horror around the world. They may not be the top 25 yet, but Train to Busan was really good. It might be in there for our next time we do that. I also thought Housebound was really good. Some of the ones in there may drop off.
Maybe
some
bad
might come
taste.
in. Not bad taste. Why don't we just ask for Decoder to be part of it? Good God.
Okay.
But I did enjoy our show today, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Well, don't forget to subscribe. We are on both 2 channels, Cool Kids with Asthma and the Monster Dome channel. So if you don't mind subscribing to both. Yeah. Follow us on Instagram. Yeah, the Monster Dome, yeah. We have a Facebook too that I don't post on. And we have Cash App here if you'd like to donate. That'd be dope. Give us some money so we can do this more often, yeah. And guys, this is it for a Halloween special, but stay tuned because after the credits, I'll show you where we're heading to next. See you there.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Make her the cutest that I've ever seen. Give her 2 lips like roses and clover. Then tell her that her lonesome nights are over. Sandman, I'm so alone. Don't have nobody to call my own. Please turn on your magic beams. Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Make her the cutest that I've ever seen. Give her the word that I'm not a rover. And tell her that her lonesome nights are over. Sandman, I'm so alone. Don't have nobody to call my own. Please turn on your magic beam. Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Mr. Sandman, bring us a dream. A pair of eyes with a come heaven gleam. Give her a lonely heart like Pagliacci. And lots of wavy hair like Liberace. Sandman, someone to hold. Would be so peachy before we're too old. So please turn on your magic beam. Mr. Sandman, bring us a dream. Mr. Sandman, bring us a dream. Mr. Sandman, bring us a dream.
Alright, Dwayne, we had a good Halloween. What do you think we're heading to next in the Horror Around the World tournament?
That's a little difficult. We've already done Japan, China, South Korea, New Zealand,
Germany, France.
Australia. Maybe Canada?
Canada is a good guess, but we're not going there.
Aww.
However, for the next one, oh ho ho ho, I wanna go to the science feature, double feature, duty show. How's it go? I'm white. I'm white, so I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not good with
Late night double feature picture show.
He said it.
Rocky Horror Picture Show. So, are we going to England?
Well, good news, bad news.
Okay.
You're right and wrong.
Okay.
We are going to England, but there is no Rocky Horror Picture Show. So, let me dive into my little bag. So first up to Wayne. You like werewolves?
Yes.
Well, a little movie called Dog Soldiers is
awesome.
going to be coming up next. It's going to be on our next episode. Also, a little movie called Host.
Okay.
And a little alien film. We got werewolves. We got something. And how about little aliens with Attack the Block?
Attack the Block. All right.
3 awesome little cool movies. You want to put them on the table here?
Nope.
Okay. This is what we're going to be discussing on the next edition of Wait, But There's More! Double feature picture show. We're not going to one country next time. We're doing 2.
Really?
And a double feature. Yes, not one country, but 2. And we're also going to Mexico. That's Mexico. For those who... Okay, let me get the movies out.
Still rolling? I've been to Mexico.
So here you go. This one was originally going to be on a future episode called Tasia Picks. But when I found out we're going to Mexico, when I found out this movie was made in Mexico, I was like, Tasia, your little movie's getting bumped up to the tournament of horror around the world tournament with a little film called Piggy.
Piggy?
Alright. And then I found out my budget was really low, and I was about to hawk to get some money for the next movies. But then I found...
You can do that in Mexico, believe me.
Then I found a little cheapskate way to get the further the tournament along with a 2-in-1 DVD called Mexican Horror Double Feature. Another little thing that we got. Oh, sweet Jesus. I have to have these words. La Mamma Mia Azteca. Hey, it says on the back. Okay, yes. We have La Mama Azteca Roboto Humano. What does that mean, Dwayne? Okay.
La Mama Azteca that's what it says.
And we also have Attack of the Mayan Mummy.
Oh, okay, cool, mummy.
So we got mummies, robots, fat bitches, aliens, monster, and werewolves. All on the next edition of the Monster Dome. I'm really excited to see what happens on our double feature. We'll see you then on the Monster Dome.